Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Drakuru Keep. We're going to go ahead and three-man this. I will actually be tanking. But Jesse Smash just asked a wonderful question. And I thought I'd share it with the crowd because it's a great question. If you can make an MMO with the level of quality of WoW, but that is to say, it's a damn good MMO, and you can make it for any franchise, what IP would you pick? Spartan's already said Halo. Fife has already said Kingdom Hearts. Asmira Star says Mass Effect. Eurus is Mega Man. I was actually debating Mega Man, because remember that was that Mega Man MMO that they were working on, which sounded cool, and then they, ironically, abandoned. Marvel or DC for Masker Man. Oh. Alright. I'm going to go ahead. Poke my head in here. Lord of the Rings. I mean, Lotro, if we kept Lotro's story but grafted better gameplay on it, ooh, that would be a thing. Oh, right. Buffs. Buffs. Just because I'm curious, I want to see something real quick. Hey, I can heal people now. Don't be so quick to escape. A parting gift. Rise, my warriors, and fight for your new liege. So, first of all, hang on. So, one of the reasons I wanted to go ahead and do Drakuru with a prefab is because this is a very story-focused dungeon, and I want to make sure we get to see all the cutscenes and story aspects, because first thing we see, I love this, first thing we see when we first walk into Drakuru is a couple of trolls fleeing. Remember, just on the trip up here, we see trolls fleeing from here. So we see two trolls fleeing, and there's a Scourge Reanimator, a necromancer, who chases them, kills them, and raises them up as undead right in front of our faces. And that's the tone setter right there. Now, we actually had a quest to come into here, which is this one. Orcs. They just don't listen. Know what I mean, troll? Kurz has been with us for a few years. You'd think she'd get a feel for how we do things by now. Lure the fools in for the dangerous work, reap the rewards when it's safe. What's so hard to understand? Not her, though. She goes off and takes matters into her own hands. Probably dead by now. But I'd feel horrible if we didn't follow after her, and I'm no shape to do it myself.
Glory to the Horde.
I knew it. Even my going missing wasn't enough to get those spineless weasels to come here after me. Well, they sent you. We'll have to get through this together. I guess I'll take the only option there. I have a ring for walking in the dungeon. Okay, thanks. She strips a long bit of material from her blouse and hands it to you. Here, take this and dip it into the remains of Novos, the summoner. We're going to figure out what makes the Scourge leaders tick.
Safe. For the Horde!
One of the fleeing Drakuru trolls told me of a great raptor king, Dread, that was immune to the plague. If you could find Dread and bring me one of his teeth, perhaps I could fashion it into a weapon.
Farewell.
So yeah, welcome to Drakuru Keep. Population. Ah! Nobody's here is having a particularly good time right now. No, I love the stone bear form. Whoa there, whoa there, whoa there. Oof. Okay. I kind of wish it had the sound effects that I envisioned it having. So our initial trash is fairly basic stuff, but we almost immediately start to have to face a summoner as well. They are casters, and remember how casters work in this era. They also do area denial, as you can see right there, and they cast cripple, which is making it hard to hold aggro off of the healer, which is strange. Something's wrong if I can't hold aggro off the healer. Jesus. I'd like to think I'm a better tank than that. Even bear. Meanwhile, up top, the trolls are constantly we're constantly charging in to fight even more Scourge. What the hell? Oh. Bragan was standing in the death. Note to self, do not stand in death. Death is bad. Death is the mind killer. Hi, Uthor. Here's your rebuff. So now we have to face 3 of those jackasses and a mage. Nothing too bad. But if you're paying attention, there's like a small mini event playing up ahead. How am I instantly losing aggro to you? Something's actually wrong if I'm losing aggro if you cast 1 spell. Just to make absolutely sure, you are time walking, right? I mean, I know you're level 25, so the scaling's wonky, but that shouldn't be instantly pull aggro off of the tank. Good lord. Like, you're not even doing any damage to speak. It's just instant aggro pull. Did they break this crap again? All the hotfixes lately have been Season of Discovery. So it's not like FF14, there's no tank stance. I am tanking because I'm a bear, right? So that's not it. Kidding, Monobreath. To my knowledge, there are no extra threat abilities here. In general, actually. Yeah, double checking. Because, yeah, WoW doesn't operate like that. Like, I know what you're talking about. In FF14, for those of you who know where almost every tank has a ranged ability, which doesn't do much damage, but actually generates a fairly large amount of threat. I lean on that a lot to pull groups together, right? In WoW, there's just everything you do. It's not like the old days where we had Sunder, which specifically generated a lot of threat, for example. But, like, you saw what happened. The healer pulled aggro instantly off of me. And it looks like you didn't even do damage. It was just, you did a heal. And then they were like, go kill the healer. And that's really, really strange. Do me a favor, stay back here. No, I got an idea. Put Renew on me. That's not doing anything, as indeed it shouldn't. Huh. There. What was that? I didn't even see the spell. What did you just cast? Because you just pulled all of them off me instantly. I can't reach it. I can't repull. I can't repull. They're just straight up ignoring me. Flash heal. Okay. Okay. So. This is going to sound really weird. I think something is specifically broken with Priest. If you remember when I was healing Priest for the group when I was running, Mr. Red was a tank. I forget who else was with us that run. My heals were healing for like 10 times the health of the players. I think something's wrong with Priests in specific right now. In fact, actually, let's just check the healing there. Yeah. Yeah, no, you healed me for 127,000 health. Yeah, that's what's going on. Lol. Very good. So yeah, it looks like priests are a little borked right now. That is ridiculous. And I apologize. So here's the deal. You could go shadow if you want to. You could also just heal after combat. Renew seems to be fine. Maybe just avoid flash. Let's see if there's any other heals. Because, yeah, Fife didn't have this issue, and Fife was doing shaman. In fact, we haven't had any issues to my knowledge, except when we were priests. Let me check something. Let me see how big our heals are as a druid. Let's just stand here for a moment, let our mana regen. Feel the mana flowing through us. Yeah, no, something about priest specifically is not scaling correctly. Not since it came out, Yura. As a tank, which is high, I have about 300,000 health. So his quick, cheap, low heal was healing me for half of my health. To put that into specific numbers. In fact, actually, do me a favor. Just start... Hit me with, like, all your heals. Let's just see how much is being healed. Let's see if there's any other heals that aren't borked. Because Renew seemed fine. Okay, so that was 35,000. That was fine. Rare is 10,000. That's fine. Whatever that was 40,000. That's not going to do anything because I have to take hit damage for that one. Do just heal. Plain old heal. No, not flash heal. That's 74,000. Just heal. Because heal is supposed to be your big heal. It's what replaced greater heal back in the day. That only healed me for 2,000? That can't be right. Hang on, let me try heal one more time. Please. Oh no, this is definitely negative worthy. Okay, 68k from the big heal. Alright, now go ahead and do Holy Word Serenity. Let's see how much that does. Assuming it's not off cooldown. On cooldown. 120,000. Jesus. Okay, do me a favor. Hang on. So let me do some of my own tests. So that's way too big of a hot. Looks like my heals are kind of too big too. Well, no, that's exactly where it should be. Never mind. No, though I'm wrong. That's exactly where that should be. And this one. And this one. Yeah, no, my heals are fine. So I think, okay, do me a favor. I know this is antithetical to avoid a major component. Try to avoid doing the Holy Word spells. Let's see if, regular old heals don't cause any issues. If they still do, then whatever. Come on, damn it. Good morning, Pokemibo. Nope. Instantly. Jesus Christ. Alright, what did you cast there? I didn't get a chance to see it. Like, for those of you who are not familiar with this game, what just happened is extremely buggy. The healer should not cast a single heal several seconds into a fight and instantly pull aggro. That is extremely wrong. I'm not even 100% sure what exactly is going wrong there. That is wild. Oh god, the 5-second roll. Or the 5 Sunder roll. That's another one. Yeah, no, that's literally wrong. I will go ahead and add another bug. Negative. Yeah, actually. You probably couldn't even see it. My normal add-on actually tracks that kind of thing. Well, that's actually an interesting point. Does this track threat? Is there a threat option? I don't see an option for threat. That's true. It could also be me. Damn right, Zavakam. Hang on. Let's watch our threat on a single target. So we're at 100%, as we should be. Bregwin's gonna get started here. We're still at 100%. Still at 100%. Still at 100%. Unmoving. Unyielding. Everything's fine. Of course it is. Up! Up! I'm at 50. He did something and I'm at 50. Just instantly down to 50 there. That is incredibly buggy. You saw how long into the fight that was, right? You saw how far into the fight that was. And whatever it is you just did, because I was watching the thread, it was just instantly whoosh. It's like, it feels like, if I was to guess... So, okay, in WoW, there's a hidden flag to abilities, right? Which essentially turns them into taunts. It makes them generate, I think it's 4 times or 4.5 times threat. You know, it's the tank stuff. It feels like Priest just has that, but only like for flash heal? That's extremely strange. Like, losing aggro for a millisecond to Bregwin there because I don't have my hot dots rolling yet. That's fine. That's exactly what should be happening. Go ahead and toss another flash heal. Let's see what happens. Well, okay. It's fine. It's fine. It's just, that's really, really weird. And extremely buggy, and deserves its own negative, 100%. That's wild, is what that is. Okay, go ahead. Just gonna sit here. Quick, do a flash heal. Do a flash heal. Wow, it actually didn't pull off of Bregwin. Do another flash heal, like on yourself.
So hungry. Must feed.
This actually makes less sense, believe it or not.
So hungry. Must feed.
Like, no, for real, this makes less sense. Like, it shouldn't be possible that he only pulls off of a tank and not a DPS. Especially since I can... Oh, there you go. You just pulled it. I am so confused about what's happening here. But no, you did pull thread off of Bragwin there. Hmm. Which you also shouldn't have been able to do. Hold on. Do me a favor, come out with me. Somebody. Well, both of you, actually. I'll wait so I can give you a run buff. I'll see, in the interest of testing... Yeah, they're both Alliance, and I'm Horde. I saw it too. That's the direction I'm thinking in. This is ridiculous, and this deserves a negative period. Whatever is happening shouldn't be. I also tried a quick Google and found nothing. So apparently either nobody else is reporting on this, or I'm not searching correctly. Or Google's search is terrible lately. Not that that would be true. I mean, Google's search is just so good. They're using AI now. All right, I'm going to make Bragwin group lead if I can... Oh, no, I don't even need to do that. Spartan is already group lead. Oh, by the way, Jesse's mask. Are you even there anymore? Sorry. I got a little distracted by the bug from hell here. I guarantee you this is an anniversary patch bug. But also... Yeah, I feel like there might be some spaghetti go to the cross-factioning, which, once again, makes me hate the faction system, but that's whatever. Let's just not even get into that. The faction system is ruining the game 20 years later. I don't know if that's true or not. We're going to test it. It might be because so much of the way it does threat is kind of under the hood. But that might be part of why it's running into something somewhere. We're going to go really quick and dirty here. That. And let's go with... Heart Strike. They obviously want bones, duh. Let's do those two. And useless. Yeah, this could be a problem with scaling. This could be a problem with God, a lot of things. There's a lot of possible options here from what the hell's going on. Actually, I want to swap those down there. I was missing something. There it is. Or no, you actually go to here, don't you? That's right. Do I have a 3? Should I have a 3? Alright, can I get a summon, please? Please, please. You can't do a random queue across faction right now, Luthor. I don't know if you can do a specific queue, but you cannot do a random queue. I tested that just a couple of days ago. Please, can I get a summons? There we go. Now, to be clear, I specifically tried randoms. Like random such and such. Like random time walking or random heroic, whatever. Okay. Take 2. Should be the same instance. That's interesting. I didn't try specific grouping. Marrow Frost, the Blood Knight. Just sounds weird. Let's do it. Let's see some flash heals. Because we know flash heal does it specifically. I can't even tell if you are. No, it looks like you are flash healing. It's not pulling. It's not pulling at all. It's cross faction. Here, I'm gonna, like, big pull. Just to make no really sure. Alright, just spam it. Just spam flash heal. I just want to see what happens. Oh, that's a good point. Spartan isn't holy right now. Still, it was still pulling when he was Shadow. But you'll notice he's also not pulling aggro off me at all. Which is exactly how it should be. But yeah, one last attempt just to be thorough. It could also be level related, but shouldn't be. Admittedly. But you're right, that is something that I have no real way to test. Because I don't have a... I don't have an Alliance tank that is below level 60, you know, about at level 67. And now we all wait for Spartan. That's true, he wasn't pulling off a Brave one until he really tried to. And she's 61. Into TPS. No, I need you to be holy, Spartan. I can tell you're not holy, because there's this giant cloud of death rotating around you. I like to think that you walk into a priest meeting. Everyone's like, "All right, is everyone here holy?" Yep, yep, yep. And then it just cuts to Spartan, who's just covered in shadow, and it's like, "Yeah, I'm holy." Sir Spartan, yeah, what's up? You Unfortunately, the upcoming encounter is not a good encounter to test this on, because this is Novos. Yeah, it's Holy Shadow, okay? It's fine. It's fine. Ah!
The chill you feel is the herald of your doom.
What? I guess this'll work.
Bolster my defense. Hurry, curse you.
The ads come out. That's primarily going to be Braglin's job. But I can do that too. Yoink. You like ad fights, right?
Bolster my defense. Hurry, curse you.
So far I'm not losing aggro or anything, though. Which is how it should be. You should heal yourself.
Such is the fate of all.
Okay, so
Bolster my defense.
he never pulled aggro, so it is either faction or level. In the interest of total honesty, it could be some combination thereof as well, given how these kind of bugs work. Let me think about this. Do I have anything else?
Bolster my defense. Hurry, curse you.
Not this, not this. To Death Knight, I'm going to be honest here. Played this in a while.
Such is
No,
the fate
I'm dead.
of all who oppose the Lich King.
I would too, but I like testing. Bregman might actually have this. We're past the ad phase, and it's just the boss down. He's actually pretty weak once you get back to him. Yeah, I'm tank spec. Of course I'm tank spec. No, I can tell you right now it's not happening. I'm a good enough tank with enough experience of that I can tell you immediately that it's not happening under this party configuration. Yeah, unfortunately I don't think I have the setup for that either.
Such is the fate of
Aw.
all who oppose the
46 health left. 46 health. That's actually funny. That is actually a good point. Bregman, do you have a Brewmaster spec set up? Because that's actually a good idea. That'll be a decent way to test that. Because Bregman and I are pretty close to level. Do me a favor, just set up a Brewmaster spec really quick. It just hit the use default option, right? What you care about is keg throw and breathe fire. I'm just gonna give that out there. There's a little bit more to it than that, but that's your bread and butter. Yeah, douse them with alcohol and then burn them. Brewmaster's fun, by the way. I look forward to playing that later. And I will switch over to healer. Go Shadow Spartan. We're effectively testing the inverse here. It really is a thing. Brewmaster is a very fun. I can't request an invite for some reason, which is weird. Brewmaster's awesome. It's actually kind of a complicated tank because it's all about managing your stagger and your shuffle is what it's called. No, Bragman. We lost Bragman. Yeah. Some of your abilities give you shuffle, which improves your stagger. You also have bruise. Not all of them are boos. Some of them are teas. But you go chug, and then they give you like all kinds of things that you can do. It's like I can't even tell you in a single sentence because Brewmaster is actually a fairly complex class, all things considered. Yeah, I can't think of his name all of a sudden. Doomwalker. Brewmasters also have, I would say, almost the best mobility of any tank class. The only reason it's almost is because Demon Hunters exist. By the way, Spartan, could you either give me party lead or re-invite Bragman, please? My favorite thing about the Brewmasters is, so in Legion, there were these things called the Class Order Hall quests. And they were awesome, but they were also varying in quality. Perfect. No idea. Some of them were really, really, really good, like Rogue and Death Knight. Some of them were not that good, like Warrior. But almost all of them followed class fantasy. You know, you felt like you were a such and such while you were doing the quest chain. The Brewmaster's quest chain was primarily focused on making a new type of beer. Like, that was the main arc going throughout the entire quest chain. Now, in the interest of fairness, it was like a magically augmented super brew, which you know gave you tons and tons of power as a temporary boost. But still, the Brewmaster, well, excuse me, the monk's primary quest chain was making a beer. And I'm not even mad about that. That's awesome. Okay, so let's see if we can pull off a break. Well, obviously, we're just going to start off with this fight, and this fight is not a great test of this, but I'll still probably be able to tell immediately. For Warrior, they had a good idea in the beta, and then they just threw it out the window. I will never forgive them for what they did to Warriors back in the day. Legion Warrior is just awful. Anyways. Alright, Bragman, you got this. We believe. Don't forget to go shadowy, Spartan.
The chill you feel is the herald of your doom.
So back in the beta, it was like you went to the afterlife for all the great warriors. It was like Valajar, right? It was all of the great warriors who had already died in history. And there were a whole bunch of them there, like Lothar was there, and the other Saurfang was there, all kinds of fun stuff.
Bolster my defenses. Hurry, curse you. Bolster my defenses. Hurry,
I'm
curse you.
holding aggro pretty solidly. Like, I see Bragman just leaning into this guy, and he is just aggro to me. All I've done to him is a single dot, and then healed.
Bolster my defenses. Hurry, curse you.
Oh, she pulled. I am generating way too much. Look at that threat meter. I was at 80% from just sitting there healing. Look at that. Look at that. I just straight up have aggro on this guy from just standing here healing. Oh, I lost it.
Surely you can see it contains.
Where's the... There it goes. Like, you're seeing this, right? Bragwin is at 20% threat. Just leaning into him. I think this is as definitive as an answer as we're getting. I think it is specifically the cross-faction thing not working correctly. Granted, I'm doing a lot of healing on myself right now because I'm just tanking everything, but... Oh my god, someone DPS the boss, please. Please, someone DPS the boss. I'm just standing here, healing through all of it. Yeah, there's got to be some kind of... This feels right, you know what I mean? Speaking as a QA tester. I've done that. It feels like something's off in the faction flag somewhere. Actually, heal tanking was actually a thing all the way back in Wrath, I want to say that was. Yeah, don't mind me. I'm fine. Just keep DPSing the boss. I'm taking. No matter what, I'm taking. This is how much of a tank I am at heart. That is my job, Dice. I will endeavor to do my best. You say that, I'm about to go because this fight is taking too long. There we go.
Your efforts are in vain.
Good God. That was fun, but extremely buggy. I am actually going to bug report that. Oh God, it's actually been a while since I've done that. They changed the support screen, I remember. Let's see. Bug report, bug report. Okay, just in case it shows any private information, we're gonna go ahead and kill the game there. Okay. No, I saw it, Spartan. There, bug report submitted. Okay. So now I have to figure out what we're actually going to do about this. I don't have much back pain anymore, thank God. Especially ever since I got a better bed and a better setup. But most of mine was lower back when I did. I actually do bug reports and feedback reports pretty regularly. I sincerely doubt they have ever looked at any report I've ever given ever. But I do it anyways, just in case. I also try to give rather thorough and precise information to make it clear that I'm not just being like, this game is dumb, you're dumb. But instead I'm trying to give some actual feedback. Anyways, where's his corpse? Where's the boss's corpse? Oh God, is his corpse already gone? His corpse is gone. Anyways, so new rule: no more cross-faction grouping. So they fix that crap. Now, what's really sad is I can't say definitively if this is a new bug or not. Like, I'm not, I am unaware, because I didn't really do a lot of cross-faction grouping until this run, right? Everyone I would group with before was on the same side as I was. And this just means, Jesus Christ, like, he just pulled aggro as a Shadow Priest, for God's sake. But this just means that I have to never do one of these groups ever again. Oh my god, I'm just... Whatever. It's a good thing I'm going to go ahead and do the next grouping as a pug. Specifically. I was going to do it specifically for testing purposes, but it looks like it's a good thing anyways. Yeah, I imagine not a lot of people are doing three-man groups when it comes to time walking, because that's effectively what we're doing, is a time walking group here. And if you just queue for a time walking, you will not get people from the other faction, because you can't cross-faction for randoms, as we've already talked about. Like, I have my new super ability, which is at the bottom of my tanking tree, which I've been using regularly. It's a great ability. It's generating no threat at all. Now let's use my other super ability, the big heal. Hey! It pulled aggro because it was healing. Oh my god. I mean, in fairness, this bug would exist in 5-man, but yeah, it's just, you probably wouldn't notice it because the mobs would die before you cared. If I'm being honest, this is probably yet another reason why the face roll thing needs to go away too. Because it's covering other bugs. Like, how many other bugs do you think exist under the face rolling problem? Paladin Kanks can self-heal, but I'm not sure. Like, I can self-heal. But I've been self-healing this whole time. It's not doing anything. Yeah, we recently did a Time Walking Classic. It's actually Time Walking Classic right now. That's to say vanilla. And a friend of mine was excited because they'd never experienced vanilla dungeons. And they have still, as of this moment, not experienced vanilla dungeons. I saw your comment, Spartan. I doubt it. This screams bug. We give WoW a lot of credit for being less spaghetti code than the other big MMOs. But WoW still has its spaghetti code under the hood. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Back when having a fear was a boss mechanic. I mean, yeah, WoW's never going to actually get to the point of being bug-free, duh. The question is how much effort they put into fixing the ones that are there. Ah! 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 I'm so scared. Also true, Blade Travel. Yeah, we've had some weird bugs over the years. Up to 5 stacks? I am at 5 stacks. I mean, there's actually an old concept. It's a programmer concept, but it also applies to a lot of other aspects of life. It doesn't matter if it takes spaghetti. You know, it doesn't matter how spaghettified the factory is as long as it's working. The problem comes when anything goes wrong. It's not doing it because you're not trying to pull aggro off of Bragwin. And Bragwin is your faction. Bragwin's still tank, if you didn't catch that. I should just switch healer. Yeah. Oh, for God's sakes, fine. Here, shut up. There. Oh my god, Bragwin is still taking stagger damage. There she goes. Oh, that's wild, Monobrown. And yeah, that one probably... people have even noticed that one. So as we get... Sorry, this has been a whole interesting experience. So, storyline-wise, we get in here. Our first boss is a giant troll who's like, wahaha, and he's evil. He's not actually evil. It's Trollguard, this guy right here, right? And he is a converted, so he's a dire troll who's already been turned into undead. Our second boss is the Necromancer, who's just summoning in wave after wave after wave of undead in order to swarm the Drakari. Our third boss was the giant guy we just fought. Our last boss is actually not going to be a Scourge. It's going to be one of the last defenders of Draktheron Keep. You notice as we get up here, this is actually some fun trash. And I would totally be giving gameplay positives if this was proper. Because I like this trash. So you've got several Drakari. I need to get some of the mojo here. And we've got several of the undead fighting side by side. And both of them do their own separate things, and you have to kind of accommodate. So there's like your heavies, which is the Drakari commanders. Your heavy undead, which is the Drakari risen death knights. And you got the trash on both sides. And if you time it right, you can make it so that you don't have to deal with quite as much as of either. They also like to fear and silence. Because of course they do. So those are dire trolls, Spartan. I actually have talked about that a little bit. So the trolls and the orcs both have an alchemical / magical process they can do in order to convert someone into a dire version of themselves. It has a bit of an effect on their brain, and it also makes them, you know, big and roided out, as you might imagine. Now, it's not... You could keep living your life as a dire, but at the same time, you're kind of not supposed to be able to. The idea is it's supposed to be similar to an Archon over in StarCraft. In other words, this is something we do when we need someone big and heavy up front to deal with things. That being said, we do have at least one example of a dire orc who was able to continue having a life after he was turned into a dire orc, and that is Ariok. I think so. This is purely speculative. Yeah, we'll talk about Ariok when we get there. He'll show up in Kata and then in Warlords. this is pure speculation based on vibe and tone. But I get a very desperate vibe and feel from Blizzard right now. And that does fit the circumstances from what I understand of them. You notice how little I'm healing here, just to stay behind the aggro curve here. Because there's a lot of pressure going on at Microsoft Gaming right now for reasons I don't feel like repeating. But, like, there is. There's a bunch of pressure going on over there right now. And there's a strong... The Microsoft Gaming executives, including Spencer himself, they need a win, right? They need to prove that they can continue to be their own thing. They need to continue to prove that they don't need external interference from the rest of Microsoft. And so I get this really strong vibe that you know, there's been a lot of push to try and make sure that things are popping and showing good return figures and things that'll look good on a spreadsheet when they show them to the executive meeting, excuse me. Well, that sucked. The anniversary patch is a perfect example of this. Very clearly rushed out the door. Extremely buggy. Not quite what you'd consider finished. Even the content that was there, they actually took a while to, like, roll out, like, once every week, some of the content there. And yeah, what's one of the first major increases in income that Blizzard put out after being purchased by Microsoft Gaming? That stupid Brutosaur mount. But, of course, that makes sense. After all, that's a win. So now they can say, hey, look at all this money we're making off of WoW. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Man, I love being feared. Over and over and over. Okay, so last boss. Like I said, we fought through the Scourge, we fought through the Drakuru. Our last boss is actually a dead Loa. Who is, Oh, no, actually, hang on. This isn't actually the Loa, is it? It's someone who... I'm sorry. Actually, so this is an undead Loa. My bad. Even better. Sorry. I was mistaking which dungeon we were doing. My bad. So yeah, undead Loa. Woohoo! In case you thought that the Loa were safe from the Scourge, you were wrong.
The Raja sees all. The work of mortals shall not end the eternal dynasty.
Whoop, sorry, I accidentally healed too much. My bad. Oh, I healed myself. Sorry. I gotta go back to dead sticking. Dead stick. Back to Deepson. Oh yeah, green DPS. That's where it's at. Have a green. Have a life bloom or whatever it's called. Efflorescence? Efflorescence, that's it. Yeah, but I'm still doing it. When I heal off of Bragwin, I immediately pull aggro off. So then we turn into these undead forms. Behold! Undead power. I steal your life. Delicious life.
Impossible! The Raja is eternal! The Raja is...
Okay, so. Now we've done all that, so we're going to go ahead and follow through with our promise with Drakuru. So we're going to use our Drakuru thing. He's going to get voice acting.
Ah, back in Drakteron at last. You done well, man. You surpass my greatest hopes.
So this is when he backstabs us, right? Puts down the artifacts.
You be getting the greatest of rewards. Revelation! Be still, friend, and behold the truth of things. Master, my mission be complete. With the help of these mortals, this region be cleansed of all who oppose us.
You have done well, Drakuru. Your betrayal of the Drakari Empire has borne me a new army. Your army. Arise and accept my gift. I charge you now with the cleansing of Zuldrak, Drakuru.
As you wish, Master.
Fail me and it shall be your undoing. Succeed and even greater power shall be yours.
Forgive my deception, man. It all been for your own good. You needed to prove your worthiness. I be needing worthy underlings in Zuldrak, man. Ones ready to wield real power. You see for yourself now. The Lich King be generous to them who obey. Follow this path, man, and soon you will taste in immortality.
What be on your mind?
We be doing a great thing, man. And this be just the beginning. Seek me out in Zuldrak when the time be right. There'll be a war to be won.
Be seeing ya.
So, this is definitely a big positive moment for me. If I could share at least one of the reasons why. It's actually a very boring reason, but this is a subversion. This is a twist. Oh, not the fact that he's working for the Scourge. That's not the twist here. So, if you're paying attention, as we were doing each of the Drakuru quests across Grizzly Hills, he was suspicious, right? He was super sus the entire time. He's like, oh, yeah, no, it's going to be good. It's for the greater good. Everything's going to be fine, man. Everything's fine. And you're just thinking, yeah, okay, you're going to turn on us. We get it. You're going to turn on us. And the whole thing was indicating that he was going to betray us. Then we get here. He is grateful for what we've done. He summons the Lich King. And it turns out that he's been working for the Lich King this whole time as part of proving himself worthy of service in the Scourge. Keeping the Scourge's overall mentality of trying to do the filter thing. But he doesn't turn on us. Quite the contrary. If you're paying attention to his line there, he was like, don't worry, I'm sorry for lying to you. It was all for your own good. And he is still beneficial towards us, still turns in the quest. And he's like, I'll see you again in the next day. Yeah, he doesn't turn on us. Drakuru is legit. It's weird. Drakuru is legit. And that's the twist. Not the fact that he's working for the Lich King, but the fact that he's actually willing to recruit us. He wants us to join him. And by the way, this is not the end of this story arc. Drakuru's story is one of my favorite story arcs in all of Wrath, to be honest with you. And not just because of the fact that it goes across 2 zones in a dungeon. Although I do love that kind of cross-zone continuity in WoW. Something they don't do very often. They did it twice in Kata, to use another example. Twice in all of Cataclysm. I couldn't bring myself to kill Drakuru. He's cool. He's more or less literally an ice troll. Gundrak will be the next dungeon we're doing. Although, speaking of which, while we're here, cannot do this in a cross-faction group. You can do non-queued dungeons and raids. I've had to prove this like 3 times this run. People keep saying, oh, you could totally use the queue. No, I freaking can't. Now, hang on. Nope, I can't even do specific dungeons. So I cannot do specific dungeons, and I cannot do randoms in a cross-faction group. So I don't know why everyone keeps saying we can, because we turbo can't, and I have now triple proven that.
Farewell.
Abandon that, because we're not doing that. That quest is buggy anyways. Anyways, pluses to story. Drakthern Keep is still a good story dungeon, even if I can't give any gameplay positives. See, the funny thing is I can remember that too, Thor. And you're not obviously alone, because everyone keeps saying, oh, you could totally do it. And it's like, but I have just proven, again, seconds ago, that you still can't. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. Now, I wonder if it means this. Because the pre-made thing, yeah. Yeah, we could sign up for pre-made stuff. Oh, it's the next patch that does it. Oh, now that's interesting. So the next patch will finally be able to queue cross-faction. I sure hope they fix the healing bug by then. The good news is, if that is a planned feature, there's actually a decent chance they will fix that bug. That would also explain why so many other people, including me, had a memory of that. Okay, so actually, hang on. So we're obviously doing Zuldrak next. I need to take a 5-minute AFK. Let me get in position. We're coming into the Dragonflight. Well, I mean, okay, tell you what. How about they don't fix it until, like, the patch goes live? And then people are like, wah! And then they fix it, like, the next day. How's that sound? We'll compromise. We'll get hilarity, but also, like, get it fixed. Yeah, we might need to do a bit of an audit there. Okay. I'll be back in a few minutes. You know, Uthor. That would be hysterical. Just... Alright, let's do Zuldrak. So, there's actually two vectors into Zuldrak. One is the one we just did. The other, as you can see, is right here.
Light be with you.
We wrested this ancient Drakari temple from a swarm of invading Scourge. Not more than 100 paces from where we stand is the ruined city of Jintha Kalar. Scourge necromancers run amok, turning the living Drakari trolls that remain into servants of the Lich King. All are now lost to the light. All must be purged. All.
For the Alliance.
Alright, time to go kill everyone. Woo! Death to everyone. Well, I should probably not be a healer for this. That would probably be a good thing. Switch back to balance here. Anyway, now. Yeah, I don't want to bear the lead on this, but every time I get to Zuldrak, I look forward to it. Enjoy it until we finish the initial quest chain. And then immediately want to move on from it. And I anticipate that's exactly how the review is going to go. It's going to start off very strong. And then it's going to be Zuldrak. I'm not joking. Every time I get to Zuldrak, it's the same exact problem. No, listen, we've got to kill all of them, Crazy Norse. You don't understand. We're evil! We're the Horde. We're the bad guys. Death to allies. So that's why they call it that. We have to kill the Alliance, and we get confused because we're stupid, too. So we have to also kill allies. That's why Garrosh is constantly going after his own people. That's another thing. Zuldrak also kind of peters out weirdly. Like, there is actually a quest that goes into Gundrak, but I wouldn't be surprised if you don't even, like, really process what's happening there. Also, the initial quest chain is short and snappy, which you'll notice that's a trend in Wrath, isn't it? Like, think about the initial quest chain in Valiant's Keep over in Borean Tundra. Or the initial quest chain at Vengeance Landing over on the fjord. Those initial quests are just bam, 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 bam. You know, no, what's that saying? All meat, no filler or whatever. And then it's like, oh, right, we gotta fill up the rest of the zone. And then there's just a bunch of Drak. Zuldrak is very much that, because the initial quest chain is actually pretty short. We'll blast through that by the end of the first shift without even trying. No, the opposite of bloat. There's this one Wrath shot going across there. Well, if I'm being honest, I'm sure they fell prey to the same problem that every game developer in the history of the ever has fallen victim to. Oh no, our game needs to be such and such of a length. No, Spartan. At least I don't think so. Pretty sure I don't. I might for Ice Crown. There's going to be, hypothetically, a bunch of group stuff up there.
What can I do for you?
As you can see, the Scourge war machine presses onward, yet the armies of the Horde and the Alliance remain divided, making for easy prey. It is for this reason we must remain united. Preaching to the choir, buddy. The Argent Crusade has use for a man like you. Perhaps you'd be interested in joining our cause, to battle and die at the side of the Ashbringer. Can I skip the second part?
Go with honor, friend.
Ready yourself. I am dispatching you to Light's Breach. I've received word the Scourge are making a push over Zuldrak. This will not come to pass. See to it you assist in the destruction of the Scourge here. The Light demands it. Dismissed. When will I be doing that Alliance next? I believe after Zuldrak. Let me double check my notes. Yes. We're doing Zuldrak and then Gundrak, which we will obviously finish today. I'm not sure how long. Again, Zuldrak, it drags a little. Then we're going to switch to the Alliance and do the Howling Fjords and the Grizzly Hills, the quests we skipped in both zones on the Alliance. That'll also be when we do Utgard Keep and Utgard Pinnacle. Although we've kind of already done Utgard Keep, but we kind of didn't. I don't know. We'll get to it. We'll get to it.
Light be with you.
Excellent. Valis must have received my report. Let's get to work, Troll.
Safe travels.
Indeed. For the Argents, I guess? Yes, the Argent Crusade. Made up of the bits and pieces of the Argent Dawn and the Scarlet Crusade who survived the events of the Death Knight Starter Zone. First time we've caught up with them, by the way, for paying attention. Wanted. Chief Rageclaw, Trusty Lionseal. Ragemane, bite hand that feed him. Rageclaw say Ragemane no more good because bad Drakuru trolls. Chief be killed. Ragemane Flipper be returned to Chief as proof. Okay. Drakuru. You know who this troll is? I think bad troll are controlled by Drakuru troll. They call themselves Drakuru trolls. That how I know. You see why I am chief. Smartest of all Wolvar. But that not why I talk to you now. Bad troll come and kick Rageclaw out of den. Rageclaw that no run away held as prisoner in village. Go free captured Rageclaw. Kill troll for lock opener. Maybe kill troll for many lock opener.
What can I do for you?
These poor creatures are the only survivors. According to their chief, the Drakari trolls and Rageclaw Wolvar have been allies for thousands of years. They've been living here alongside the trolls for generations, completely unaware of the ever-changing world around them. To the Rageclaw, a troll is a troll, so the troll attack on their den took them by surprise.
Light bless you.
Trolls attack Rageclaw den. Kick Rageclaw out. It get worse. Trolls now burning village. It's very bad. Chief make top Rageclaw shaman Maki do study on fire. Results surprising. Fire still hot and can burn things. Will you help Rageclaw and put fire out? Moxie has special Rageclaw fire extinguisher for you. Use special fire extinguisher to put fire out. But special extinguisher always have water because Rageclaw magic very strong. Cool. So a lot of people didn't understand this quest back in the day. I don't blame them. What you have to do is you have to kind of keep spamming it. Effectively, what you're doing is you're doing damage to the HP of an object you can't even see, which is the fire. So you have to do enough damage to put out the fire. Makes sense? Yeah, the Alliance are the only groups who would actually be wantonly murdering innocents. Well, Alliance and the Horde, obviously. All joking aside, I think you're right, Asmirstar. I have noticed that the writers, pretty much up to, I'd say, the next expansion, possibly even including Pandaria, have no problems making both the Horde and Alliance bad guys. And so there's almost always at least one or two neutral factions that are definitively just the good guys, so that you can actually, play as someone who is not that. Back in BC, we had the Cenarian Expedition, for example. And here we have the Argent Dawn, and arguably the Knights of the Ebon Blade. Oh, right. Boomkin. In Kata, we'll have several groups, most notably the Earthen Ring. Pandaria has pretty much everyone other than the Horde and the Alliance. The Pandarans themselves being the most obvious choice there, but the Pandarans aren't really a polity in the traditional sense of the word. I mean, there's the Shadow Pan. Did I say hi to Dakota? Hi, Dakota. Just in case I didn't. Then peace. Totally. And then we hit Warlords, where we have the dumbest excuse for PvP in the entire universe. Yes, that's right. The dumbest. There's a strange floating scroll in the air above the altar. This must be what the Crusader Lord was looking for. Minions be here to call your master. The Lich King be given Drakuru full control of the armies of the Scourge and Zuldrak. We be commanding to kill everything. Everything must die. We be processing all the corpses in the dead fields and sending them out to Prince Navarius' crew and armies for scourging. Nothing goes to waste on Drakuru's watch. Soon we'll be drinking the blood of the prophets to become even stronger than before. Zuldrak and Gundrak gonna fall to the Scourge. Cool. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, Spartan. Well, no, Zeiss. The writers... I don't want to go into BFA because Huthor is president. He'll immediately kill me if I bring up the words B, F, and A in that order. But by about the time Warlords rolled around, the writers started processing the idea that the Horde versus Alliance thing was stupid. And so just kind of started drifting away from it. Pretty hard, actually. In fact, in Legion, the only HVA stuff that was going on at all was being done by idiots, and it was emphasized very thoroughly that they were doing something very bad in the middle of a time when they really shouldn't be. Then BFA came out. We're going to skip over that. And as soon as BFA ended, that was pretty much the end of the HVA. The Horde and Alliance thing hasn't been a thing since the end of BFA. And hopefully it never will again. Like, as of this point in time, there's more or less no HVA at all. And thank God for that. God, I apologize for overemphasizing, but I was sick of the HVA thing in vanilla. The fact that it kept going and coming and going and coming and going and coming was just aggravating. I mean, Maverick once commented kind of jokingly, not really jokingly, that's like, alright, so every expansion, we're like, we gotta kill each other. We gotta kill each other. Oh, shoot, right, the actual villains. Okay, we're gonna finish the expansion going after the actual problem. Okay, that's dealt with. Back to killing each other. By the way, the lock breakers we have to get, if you mouse over it, it says, this item closely resembles a hammer. No, like I said, BFA was the end of the factional conflict. Shadowlands had nothing. As it shouldn't have. Ironically, I do think there is one other theme of Pandaria, which is as strong as that theme, but I don't disagree with that being the other really big theme. Yep, we've successfully come up with a positive for Shadowlands. Not BFA.
Honor, friend.
Drakuru, I've heard that name before. Yeah, me too, like 10 minutes ago.
Be careful.
This is the same Drakuru from Drakthar Keep. We're going to need outside assistance. Death Knights of Akros are stationed nearby, undoubtedly following the same trail of Scourge destruction that led the Argent Crusade here. As half our army is tied up at the Argent Stand, battling crazed Drakari, we have to join forces with the Knights of the Ebon Blade. I was hoping I'd never have to see those scoundrels again after last Light's Hope.
For the Alliance.
West of here across the ruined roads is the Death Knight encampment. Take these orders and deliver them to Stefan Vadu. He's the Death Knight in command there. Let him know the Argent Crusade will deal with Prince Navarius. They'll have to handle Drakuru.
Go with honor, friend.
Also, you should go to the front camp.
Light bless you.
Ah, poor Ragebane. He was gift from brother-in-law. Had Ragebane since pup. Sad day for Rageclaw. First Troll attack Rageclaw, then make Troll make Ragebane back. Rageclaw never trade with Troll again. Ever? Ever! Okay. Rageclaw, thank you. Though Rageclaw Den probably lost forever, and Troll Rageclaw friendship also lost forever. And also think of it, Ragebane lost forever too. And brother-in-law. Have you seen Chief's mate? I think she gone too. Maybe you go now. Chief a little depressed. Look, you just lost everything. It's fine. It's strange because I know you put fire up, but fire's still burning. Everything not so good after all. I pay you for what you do. Thanks. See, what should have happened, obviously, at the end of Pandaria, is we should have dismantled the Horde. Because, you know, that was a great idea. Yeah, let's actually do these quests first. Get these out of the way. Everything was fine till the Scourge attacked. Yeah, that's true with a lot of life. They took off with Dargath, Gurk and Burr, who also destroyed our ride. Guess who led the attack? Yeah, Navarius. Seems this whole area is some type of factory for the Scourge, and we're in the middle of an undead minefield. We were attacked by Prince Navarius and at least a dozen Scourge. I told Dargath at the twins to stay inside the tank, but they wouldn't listen. Dargath looked me in the eyes and said, if somebody doesn't get us out of this tank, they'll kill us all. He then made Reed cut the engine and charge. Most heroic thing I've ever seen. Heard the prince barking orders to the monsters. Sounds like he was taking them to Thrimes and northwest of here. Will you go look for them? Yeah, sure. Prince Navarius must be stopped. We can't let the Scourge continue to use this area as a zombie factory. If we can get the tank operational, we might stand a chance. What I need right now are parts. Northwest of here is an area called Thrime's End. Scourge armies are using it as a base of sorts. Spread out across it is wreckage from their arrival. Bits and pieces of scrap and metal. We'll get to me. I'll try to put it to good use. Okay. I will admit, while I like Pandaria a lot, one of the things that Pandaria failed at the most was its ending, I think. Which is funny, because I could say the same exact thing about Legion, for more or less the exact same reason. Huh. Then again, since when has Blizzard ever done endings? You okay there, buddy? Hey, Dargath, you, Uh-huh. Well, in this exact case, I am primarily referring to the events of the end of the Siege of Orgrimmar. No one has suffered as much as we have, We will judge him, And then we will write a terrible book. Wait, what? This book will suck so badly. It will single-handedly be one of the single biggest sources of mockery in WoW history for years to come. Do we have to do that? Yes. Okay. Anyways, these are Vargol. Vargol are what happened when Vrykul failed their ascension ceremony. I didn't like the ending at all. But, to be clear, I do specifically mean the raid is the ending. There's actually two endings after that. One is only for the legendary chain, which we will not be showing off on camera, because I'm not doing that. And the other would be the final quest. You get one last quest, and you end the whole expansion with Lorewalker Cho. And that just feels more appropriate, right? Ending the expansion with Lorewalker Cho. That quest is fine. I have no issues with that. But the final cinematic in Siege of Orgrimmar is going to be negatives. It's It's Blizzard cinematics at their worst. Just like the End of Legion cinematic. Big, obvious, dumb Hollywood writing. Wait, they got rid of the legendary glow quest? Oh my god. Anyways, so let's talk to this guy. You are not like the others, little one. You do not seek the reek of ancient death. Perhaps you can be trusted. I am Geimer, king of the Storm Giants. I was lured here by my brother, Theossi, now an undead servant of the Lich King. By the time I realized his cry for help was a trap, it was too late. I am now a prisoner of the Scourge, and I fear that soon I will suffer the same fate as many other Storm Giants. Find a way to release me from this cage, and I will aid you to the best of my ability. Yeah, by the way, undead Storm Giants, those are a thing. We technically haven't seen those yet, but they're a thing. They killed my brother. Slaughtered him like he was some sort of animal. Then I got him laid out on one of their tables on the other side of the camp, ready for their grisly experiments. Durga's dead too. The paladin made a heroic stand at the ruins to the northeast, but the leader of the Varagul was too strong. I'm all that's left and I'll be dead soon. I'm turning. If the light won't grant me vengeance, maybe you will. Kill them all. You got it. Why would they remove the legendary chain? That actually makes no sense to me. Like, they didn't get rid of the ability to get the frickin' hammer, Valinar. Or, you know, Sulfuros. Why would they remove the frickin' cloak? Ignoring the obvious fact that it's completely invalidated by modern content, it's also story. Good story, in fact. A huge chunk of Raytheon's story arc is in the legendary cloak chain. I didn't even know they removed it. I'm kind of glad I got all 4 cloaks now. Which I did, because Pandaria was awesome, and I didn't mind leveling 4 characters through it to do that. I'm actually struggling to understand why they would do that, and failing at it. Why is there nothing here? I mean, Lord knows Blizzard has a really weird track record with removing stuff. For example, you cannot go back and get the Blighted Protodrake right now. It's gone. Even though you can go back and get the Iron Protodrake. I should explain that a little bit. So, in Wrath, there was an achievement chain to do all of the optional hard stuff in, I think it was Noxramas, in order to go ahead and then gain access to the Blighted Protodrake, which I didn't have a chance to get before they got rid of it, so I don't have that. And then there was a sufficient outcry about, you know, titles and mounts and stuff being permanently lost that they decided not to do that with the next couple of achievement mounts. But they never restored the original. It's just gone. I mean, it's not like doing the Noxramas achievements was particularly hard either, to be quite frank. Yeah. Like I said, and I mean this with sincerity, one of the things I would do if I had control over WoW is I would have a team of people whose only job it is to go back, find issues. Like, it's the old content team. Find issues and fix them. That's your job. Like the heal bug we ran into earlier, or the quest in Duratar, which is broken, or the fact that you can't get the Blighted Protodrake anymore, or the fact that the Raytheon quest chain isn't in the game anymore. Like, that's the kind of thing that would be their purview. Probably wouldn't have to be a very large team, but it would be a team, and their job would be to go fix things. Anyways, I should stop complaining about this game. It's just, it makes no sense, and that's the thing that just keeps driving me up a wall. At no point or level can I even begin to understand it. It's like someone enjoying black licorice. And yeah, Battle for the Undercity. What? Why is that not in the game? Of all specific things, why did you get rid of that? And then it came back while Wrath Classic was out. And then it went away again when Wrath Classic went away. And it's like, what? I don't understand. There is no logic to it. At least none that I can divine. It would be interesting to, like, jump into the writer's room, or the creative room, and be like, okay, so why? And I bet you money that one of the answers I would get, at least from the people who are currently working at WoW, would be, Battle of the what now? Guys, what's Battle for the Undercity? Does anybody know what he's talking about? Yeah, it's a whole quest chain. Like, really big, important quest arc for Raytheon. Or Raytheon, sorry, Varian. And Thrall. And arguably Varrock. Hey, yeah, it's the new expansion patch. Yeah, don't worry, we've got the new patch coming. Everything's... No, no, no. Actually, in the case of the Battle for the Undercity specifically, I could almost understand it if it was a layering issue, because Lord knows there are several of those, right? I mean, how many people have ported into Undercity and died instantly because you ported into the wrong layer? Thing is, that's not true. Battle for the Undercity is a scenario. It's an instance. And even if it isn't, it could be. I'm pretty sure it's an instance, though. Was an instance. I keep waiting for the Undercity portal bug to happen on camera, because it's probably going to happen at some point. It's actually only killed me personally twice. Killed a friend of mine a couple of times, too.
Pleasure in gutting you.
They say these Sparagos are the ones that weren't found worthy by the Lich King. Can you imagine it? Just think how powerful the worthy might be. I'll say a prayer to you in the hereafter, hero. May you never have to face them in number. Yeah, about that. It's... yeah. That's true, they removed the battle for Lordaeron, which is another weird decision. I mean, it's entirely possible you're right, Huthor, and they're just trying for artificial prestige, but it's like... A storm giant? I don't know about this. That sounds risky. On the other hand, I don't think we have too many options. If I do this, you have to promise you'll get us your giant friend to help us with Nefarious and his cronies. Now, you see he's locked up in a 100-foot-tall cage, huh? My calculations are correct. We should be able to at least weaken the hinges on the cage, giving the giant enough leeway to break out. I'm going to need some plasticizers and stabilizers. Banshee Essence should do nicely for the plasticizer. And then stabilizer is on the Earth Raiders. Get a move on. I really don't know if this plan will work. Just bring me the scrap metal. Ugh. There's a great sacrifice that those three made, and it won't be soon forgotten. Their passing will not be in vain. We will be victorious. Are you sure? No. Okay, that's good to know, I suppose. Being honest is important. Wait, why did they get rid of the Warthorns? I'm sorry, what is the excuse they gave for getting rid of the Warthorns? Just another weird thing. I don't believe there's any zone that doesn't have such an achievement, Lord Harriman. But don't quote me on that. And I've ever needed sign that all of the frickin' WoW devs are old men at this point. It's the desire to artificially create nostalgia. By the way, I know I said the early stuff in Zuldrak is good. We haven't actually started the early stuff in Zuldrak. We've technically started the later stuff. I know that sounds weird, but the way this zone is structured is kind of strange. Just bear with me here. Yeah, I've got 2 of the fairy dragons. Aw, now I have 0 of the fairy dragons. I was this close to having my own fairy dragon best dog friend. Best fairy friend? Oh, I have no idea, Lord Harriman. I long for the good old days when games sucked. Sorry. I can't even say that in fairness. The whole idea is a joke. Games were good and bad back in the day, just like games are good and bad now. The age of a game has nothing to do with anything. The game's quality has everything to do with everything. I know that I'm apparently a freak alien for thinking that, but I absolutely do. Hey, there he is. Check it out. There's Thrime. So this sucker, this is what happens when you make an abomination out of storm giants. And remember, abominations are chimeras, so that is multiple storm giants stitched together. And you can tell because this is the size of his feet. He probably shouldn't be physically possible to exist. Yes, the age of the game is over. Sorry. Yeah, Thrime's a little big. He's what we call a siege engine. It's okay, we'll kill him soon. By scraping his toenails. Die, toenails. See, if I was clever, I'd be like, die, toenails, you don't belong in this world. It is not by our hand that we are once again given cuticles. We were made this way by clippers who wish to pay us tribute. Tribute? You steal people's toes and make them your slaves. Mankind ill befits nails such as you. Perhaps the same could be said of all accoutrements. Look, I can pronounce it wrong, or I can now pronounce it at all. These are your choices, Kira White Noise. So anyways, that's A-Bomb Boy over there. That's his new name. I do find it funny. It's not actually that often, but every now and again we fight something that is just ludicrously large. Like, physically large. And it's like, hey... how are we damaging this thing? Like, I firmly believe in the relative power output of the player characters in Warcraft. We're not as strong as the Warrior of Light over in FF14, but we're pretty top tier. We have been to space, yo. But, like, it is kind of weird where we're like, scrape, 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 and the guy's like, ugh. Like, remember when we fought Supremus? How did we damage Supremus exactly? Like, physically, how? Hey, look, it's all the Death Knights. So yeah, we haven't caught up with the Ebon Blade, sorry, the Argent Crusade or the Ebon Blade, but both of them just suddenly show up in Zul'Drak.
Yes.
What have you got there, troll?
We will have our revenge.
Old news. He takes up the missive and crumples it and throws it into the fire. The Argent Crusade is once again late to the party. We've been tracking Drakuru since Grizzly Hills. He's slated for eradication. Some idiot released him and gave him power in Drakthern. I don't know who could have possibly done that. Before you meet Nass or something you should know. He's got a toxic dose of blight back in the day. Now he's deaf, blind, and mostly numb. He's not all that bad, though. He's virtually immune to the stuff now, which makes him perfect for certain tasks, like the one I'm about to give you. There are many freshly scourged trolls nearby, and we need to study the blight's effect on them. Take this Nass and this boot. When you've slain a troll, give him a good kick, and he'll know to take a hair sample.
Ashes to ashes.
Yeah, of course he's blind, dumb, and deaf. He's a skeleton! God, people. Think! Think! Considering that one of the biggest Ebon Blade camps is in Icecrown, and one of the biggest Argent Crusade camps is in Icecrown, yeah, that would make sense. No, we haven't covered Wrathgate yet. We're going to go pretty much straight from Wrathgate to Icecrown, because that follows pretty logically. So, we're not doing actual Wrathgate for a minute. In fact, we'll actually be doing Ulduar before we get to Wrathgate. Right, sorry, someone actually asked a question earlier, and I forgot to answer that. So someone asked if the Lich King was a person before being the Lich King. So that's actually a more complicated question than you'd think, given the circumstances. Yeah, hang on. Will Metroid Prime 4 be good? Yes. Woo! Will Dragon Age 4 be good? Ahem. Okay, so I'm going to ignore Shadowlands for a second. Is that cool? Can we just ignore it? Okay, so now that we're ignoring Shadowlands as even existing. Once upon a time, there was a gentleman named Ner'zhul. Now, he was an orc. He was an orc shaman, and he became twisted and warped by the Skull of Gul'dan. We don't know the specifics of why, but there's a lot of hints and inferences about that, and they just kind of abandoned that quest chain immediately. So let's not think about that too much. Let's just focus on the fact that there was an orc shaman named Ner'zhul. He was desperately trying to evade and avoid the Burning Legion, because he was like, I will totally work for you, Burning Legion, and then he decided to bail and instead, do his own thing. There's some retcons involved in all of this. Let's ignore all of that for right now. This is just a quick overview. He fled into the Twisting Nether. Immediately got captured by Kil'jaeden. So that worked out great for him. Kil'jaeden then tortured him for a while, like you do. Torture. And immediately after torturing him a bunch, he's like, alright, I'm going to give you one more chance to actually do your frickin' job. I need you to weaken Azeroth for our invasion, because one of the things that the Burning Legion consistently does is they don't move in with the troops until they've pretty much already won. They want infiltrators, they want converts, They want to corrupt from within. It is a very, very consistent pattern in the Burning Legion's operations, probably because they are run by a super advanced supercomputer who likes to be efficient as a fetish. So, he realizes that the biggest problem with the burning, with the demonic horde was the fact that it was a bunch of orcs hopped up on fell power, which is pretty much never actually a good decision there. So he wants a singular entity, of one giant body of power. So he actually tasks the Nothrazim to... No, we're ignoring Shadowlands. We're ignoring Shadowlands. To come up with this incredibly powerful artifact, which contains a tremendous amount of power over undeath, specifically. The ability to reach out to and directly psychically connect. Oh, hey, there it is. I've been wondering how long that would take. Psychic power in order to be able to control the undead. They also made Frostmourne, which is kind of an unrelated thing. So, Frostmourne and the skull, and then Ner'zhul himself, his soul was essentially ripped out and shoved into this giant chunk of ice. Ice, sword, helmet. That was the first Lich King. Okay? Built out of what was left of an orc shaman. The first Lich King operated very, very different from the one you've been seeing in this game. His operations were different, his motives were different. He was primarily focused on trying to get free from his control underneath the Burning Legion and to sabotage them at every turn. He also was far less willing to play around with his food, for lack of a better, nicer way to put that. So, over the event of Warcraft 3 and Frozen Throne, we eventually get to the point where Death Knight Arthas, which is Arthas with his soul ripped out, reaches the Ice Crown and is like, hi. Smashes his sword into the ice, shattering it, and then puts on the helmet for himself. This was what forms the second Lich King. So the second Lich King is comprised of multiple demonic artifacts, what's left of the soul of an orc shaman who's been twisted into the form of undeath, and Death Knight Arthas, what's left over when Arthas lost his soul. All of that is kind of combined into the amalgam entity that I refer to as the second Lich King. And everyone else just calls Arthas, mostly out of ignorance. Do all demon artifacts contain sentience? No. Quite a few do. Oftentimes because they either have souls powering them or generate souls via some process I'm not aware of. And yes, there's some obvious parallels to StarCraft stories here, because of course there are. I'm not going to try and hand-wave that. Arthas' body is what the second Lich King is walking around in right now, if that's what you're asking. What I would consider to be the real Arthas hasn't really been active in that body for a while. Although calling it the real Arthas is a little bit... It doesn't quite get across the nuance of the point. Because, again, it's not quite a complete one-to-one thing. Death Knight Arthas is still, in many ways, Arthas. It's just part of Arthas. Arthas' soul was ripped out and is over there doing his own thing. And I don't want to give too much away, but we will literally interact with Arthas' soul over the course of this particular story arc in Wrath of the Lich King. Twice, actually. Yeah, it's a fork. It's a fork. Death Knight Arthas is, for all intents and purposes, a different person from Arthas. Just like Soul Arthas is, for all intents and purposes, a different person than Arthas. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Arthas is dead. Arthas was dead the moment he picked up Frostmourne. The moment his soul was ripped out, that was the end of that entity. I'm not sure there's an F-14 equivalent to what we're talking about here. We just drop a moon on this guy really quick. I just realized we're gathering diatomaceous earth. Why are we gathering diatomaceous earth? We're trying to desiccate some bugs? Yeah, I know, you could also use it as a fertilizer. I'm not sure there really is much of a FF14 equivalent. Kingdom Hearts is probably a better way to compare what's been going on here. So, Uthor disagrees, and I can't really argue against that, because Warcraft 3 explicitly said that his soul was ripped out when he picked out Frostborn. However, Warcraft 3 has also been retconned 50,000 times. So I can't, that's a hard argument to push back against there. Hey, can I have my dude back?
Peace.
Thank you. It's really easy to understand if you think about it from this perspective, Mr. Floyd Pinkerton. Let's say I kill you. Stab! Alright, you're dead. Congratulations, Mr. Floyd Pinkerton. But now I raise you as undead, and when I raise you as undead, I rip out your soul in the process. So, I have killed you, and now there are two of you. Like, that's it. That's the description. Like, I'm sorry, I'm explaining this badly because it's so simple and I don't know how to explain it better. There is no Ner'zhul anymore. There is no Arthas anymore. There is the Lich King. The distinction is the fact that what we have is an amalgam entity. There is no Arthas in charge. There is no Ner'zhul in charge. All there is currently is the Lich King, the second Lich King, who will eventually give way to the third Lich King. Spoilers. There's Bob, the Hope Ender. Oh, I'll just call him the Hope Ender. That's easy. So, Ner'zhul. Oh, geez, Ner'zhul. Oh, he totally didn't, Mr. Floyd Pinkerton. Ner'zhul, by all accounts, was like, all right, free me and together we will rule. And probably imagined it would be like a joint body situation. Maybe he thought he'd someday be able to get free of Arthas. Maybe he thought he could over control Arthas. That was not true. That is not what ended up happening. And I know what you're thinking. What ended up happening with Arthas, or what ended up happening with Ner'zhul? Well, I know I'm not supposed to talk about this, but let's see. There it is. Yep, that's the final resultant there. Why do the others literally... Why does this not have a model? Oh, whatever. Anyways. God, I hate that expansion so much. I cannot wait to give it so many negatives. And just dogpile. Just get a baseball bat. Alright, so. Ner'zhul. Ner'zhul was one of the head shamans of the Shadowmoon clan back on Draenor. He was an orc, obviously. And... he was fairly well known amongst the clans, and fairly well liked for being a reasonable, decent sword who was long-term thinking, and just, you know, cool. Generally cool, in a world that wasn't really inclined towards being cool. Then so, shamans regularly, it's very technically Valvadrix, yes. Shamans regularly would commune with their dead, and as a result of how they do their shamanistic magic. So at one point in time, Ner'zhul was talking to his wife, who was dead, and that's a good point, wait till that actually might happen. So he was talking to his wife, and his wife was like, hey, listen, we need to start doing this whole new type of magic. It's going to really help the orcs finally raise themselves. And because the orcs had such a long-standing concept of listening to the dead as their primary advisors, it never really even occurred to Ner'zhul to do anything other than exactly what his wife said. Siran Huthor. So he followed her instructions, was like, all right, let's do it. And thus, Ner'zhul learned Fel magic. Now, spoilers, try to be shocked, that wasn't actually his wife. In fact, later on, Ner'zhul actually then communes with his actual wife, and she's pissed at him. And his response is just to be confused, like, what are you mad at me for? Why are you doing this? I'm skipping over a lot of details here, but the point is, Ner'zhul was the one who was first deceived by Kil'jaeden and effectively formed the demonic horde. Now, Ner'zhul's closest apprentice, Gul'dan, is actually the one who ended up doing that. But all of this led to the creation of the demonic horde and the charge through the dark portal that leads to Warcraft 1. Back in Warcraft 2, Gul'dan actually was losing power because he was being overthrown by Orgrim, Doomhammer. He's the guy in charge. He's the war chief during that particular era. So we're up to we've had 2 war chiefs so far. First we had Blackhand, and second we had Doomhammer. Doomhammer is captured. That goes to hell, and then Ner'zhul ends up being in charge. So Ner'zhul is very technically the war chief of what's left of the demonic horde during the expansion for Warcraft 2. So he's like, okay, I gotta go. So he goes and gathers a whole bunch of powerful artifacts in order to reopen the dark portal in order to flee to other worlds. The whole time he's like, yeah, we're gonna conquer everywhere. We're gonna open new portals to new lands to conquer. But actually, he's just trying to get the hell out of Dodge. He's just trying to bail. And that's when he gets captured and he becomes the first Lich King. Now, you remember Unit saying, my life for ire. Ner'zhul. And that's from Warcraft 3. Because remember, Ner'zhul was the first Lich King. Now, we talk about the entity of the Lich King, like Mr. Floyd Pinkerton brought up earlier. But the thing is, the first Lich King wasn't an amalgam at all. The first Lich King was just Ner'zhul. I mean, granted, he's a little bit... He's had a couple of bodily changes, but it's just Ner'zhul. But by the time we get to the second Lich King, that's when things get a little bit trickier, because now you've got multiple things all kind of competing, and that's when we get to the point of the second Lich King being an amalgam entity.
Make it quick. Suffer well. We are...
You remind me an awful lot of my nose. Maybe it's just the nose.
There's work to be
I'm
done.
indeed... Oh, yep, okay.
Tomorrow is another day. Speak your peace.
There is a third Lich King, and by all accounts, it is the final Lich King. We'll get there later. Okay, so that's a go-to.
Suffer well.
So, we've been doing some really boring quests, and that's because we haven't really started Zoldrak yet. All of this is just filler quests. But while we were here, and this is actually kind of clever of the quest design, so I'll give them credit for this. There are 2 quest chains, both of them lead to this area. And as you kill Scourge over here, and you have quests to kill Scourge area, you get a random drop, which is this writhing choker. It is crafted of bone and dripping with blood. Crafted bone and dripping blood, this choker of intricate and deliberate design, gazing upon it overwhelms you with an ominous presence, one which compels you to wear it. You fight the urge and resolve to bring it back to the Ebon Watch. If anyone can explain this, a Death Knight can.
You need something?
I am indeed familiar with items such as this. He looks us in the eye. It would seem you have been chosen.
There's work
It
to
is either wisdom or luck that prevented you from wearing this choker. Either way, you acquiring it is no random coincidence. You have been targeted by someone or something. Here, take your choker. Let me demonstrate the fate that nearly befell you.
Tomorrow is another day.
What do you want to do? Oh, to Bloodrose. There she is, sorry.
Yes.
I cannot help but makes what you so worthy of attention. No offense. Yeah, Stefan said you would demonstrate the purpose of this item.
Ashes to
Indeed. Watch this, troll. Here, troll, have a gift. For me? Really, Mon? It'd be beautiful. It's made of bone and blood. Anyway, so then he starts vomiting, and now he's undead. Very quickly, by the way, if you missed that. No grouping, but thanks. Disgusting. Oh, hi, Spartan.
What?
Now that you've observed the fate that was meant to befall you. As I mentioned before, this is no random act. The creation of such a device is very involved. You've somehow caught the attention of Scourge leadership. The question is not how, why, or even who, but what do we do about it?
We are done here.
Once the Scourge have a target in their sights, they'll stop at nothing to acquire it. You're doomed to a mindless existence as a walking corpse, unless we can use their desires against them. I'll explain later. I have a complex magic to prepare which requires certain material components. Do me a favor, go to the Reliquary of Agony and slay the ghouls and A-bombs there. Return to me with their remnants.
Leave me be.
Okay, I can do that. Hi, Spartan. Sorry. What happens if you're already undead? I mean, it'll still affect a Forsaken. Trust me, I should know. First person I did this quest on. And Death Knight Arthas, Mr. Flight. Specifically Death Knight Arthas. I have to add that because the Arthas' soul had a worse fate. By the way, fun fact, during the World of Warcraft series, Blade Draval, there's an entire episode called The Lich Kings. What I find funniest about it is most people didn't even notice the fact that it was plural. Well, there's actually two reasons for that, Talia. Believe it or not. So, only one quest in the entire game has ever actually given a specific reason for why you yourself can do that. It's actually the Demon Hunter quest. I will show it off when we get there. It's part of the Demon Hunter starter zones. But the other, more vague explanation, from what I understand, and big asterisk on this, is that the what are they called? The Kyrian such and suches, aka the spirit entities that are like, hey, whenever you die, you see the angel thing there. Yeah, they're like, yeah, it's not your time. Go back and get your body back. In other words, they prevent our soul from going to the Shadowlands, and they just kind of say, yeah, no, go fix it. That's it. There's not much there. We're the main character, is pretty much the answer. Which is funny, because we're not. Something I've always found funny, and I did way too much work on studying and examining this concept, is that in FF14, for all intents and purposes, there's only one Warrior of Light in lore, right? Yeah, I know, alternate dimensions and blah, 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 bull crap. But ignoring that, there's only one Warrior of Light, right? And that makes sense. It is a Final Fantasy game, and Final Fantasy games, for the most part, have one main character, right? That's the approach, that's the format, that's the theme. That makes sense. By contrast, World of Warcraft in lore has, I believe, and I figured it out, but it's like 14 main characters. And that's actually true in lore. Now, there's some debate about the specifics of this, but the generally considered acceptance is there's either one main character for each class or one main character for each spec. We're not sure of the specifics. So there's either like 14 or 30 something main characters. And that makes sense because it's Warcraft, right? World of Warcraft. Even though hero units have existed for some time in the Warcraft series, going as far back as Warcraft 2, they've always been part of an army. It's always been about the unit. You don't walk into the final battle with one guy. You, in fact, walk into the final battle with an entire force, right? So that makes sense. Keeping to the theme, keeping to the concepts. I am not getting any drool. I think it's because I'm in the wrong spot. Drool. There's my drool. There's my drool. My drool. Whoop. Part of the reason I bring this up, though, FF6 doesn't have a main character. Well, okay, that's a lie. FF6 does have a main character, but it's Kafka. Anyways, yeah, exactly. Like, hero units are strong in Warcraft 3. Some of them are stronger than others. But you need that army at your back. And yeah, exactly, Blade Javal. So it's always been interesting to me that in lore, like when we do a raid in WoW, we're not there alone. We are there as part of a group of several other heroes of other classes and or specs. Whereas in FF14, we are there alone, not counting summoning people from other dimensions.
I will listen for now.
Look, I'd rather summon other alternate versions of ourselves from other dimensions rather than summon demons. Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that. Have you brought the components I asked for?
We will have our revenge.
Far from perfect. I'll have to brace yourself. This is where it gets good.
Suffer well.
There, I've created a disguise that should make you indistinguishable from the Scourge. You'll be able to walk amongst them as long as the disguise holds. Only Blight Guards will see through it. Watch out for them. Another thing you may know is the disguise is unstable and may drop unexpectedly. Yeah, thanks for that game. Let's test it out. Use the choker and visit the Scourge vendor.
Ashes to ashes.
Sure.
Hi! It's me, the Lore Runner!
I'm just kidding. I have way better teeth than this. Anyways. Yep, we did it. We're finally dead. And yeah, when I used to do pet battle stuff, a friend of mine used to get pissed because I'd see, you know, a new pet that I didn't have, and it's like, hang on, I gotta capture that one. So yesterday, Spartan kept asking me, what is the item that got stolen from you from the bank? So all the way back in Wrath, there's this one item you can only get during one quest, and it's right here. Bowels and brains. Nom nom! I'm gonna go and get my thing of bowels and brains there. I'm gonna put that in the frickin' guild bank. Because someone stole my bowels and brains. And I'm unhappy about that. So, for all this time, it's been about a year, I have finally regained the resource, and I can finally put it back in the bank. And all will be right with the world. Get over here, ghoul. Yeah, talking to you. It's feeding time now. Gotta get the grub all the ghouls. Special grub this time, bowels and brains. Nom nom nom. Just drop the ball next to the ghoul. Good way to make friends. You got ghoul friends? Yeah, I have very ghoul friends, thank you. Eat up. I appreciate you, Spartan. Or maybe I don't, because Twitch clips have been really irritating lately. Like, really, really irritating. What's the bowels and brains do? Well, it's food. I wouldn't recommend eating it because it's made of bowels and brains. So, you know, that's not... Don't do that. Don't eat that. Don't. No. Put the fork down, Talia. Put the fork down. No! God, why? Why, Talia? Why? Well, two reasons. One, I tend to like things that are rare, even if they have no point or purpose. Point in fact, if you look at my bank on my original main, you'll see there's a whole bunch of stuff I have on them that I have no real reason to hold on to, because I like the sentimental thing. So, you know. End statement. I don't know what else to add to that, really. And this item, the bowels and brains, is extraordinarily rare. You really can only get it during this one quest chain. Ever. And most people aren't even aware that it's there. By the way, anybody in the guild, feel free to take whatever. Pax and I actually did a cleanup of the guild bank before the run, just to make sure that if anybody decided to take something, they were more than welcome to. So, did I get the Yogg-Saron Puzzler? Actually, I did. I'm not sure if I still have that, but I know I got it back in the day. Hell, I still have my the ghostly haunted memento thing from the Wrath launch event. I also have the first piece of gear I ever got from LFR. And I know that sounds like a stupid thing, but the point is, it was the first LFR that existed, Dragon Soul. It was a trinket, and I was so happy to finally be able to do raids and gear up without having to do all of the nonsense of getting grouped over. I was hugely in favor of LFR, by the way. Like, I dove into that. Now, LFR has varied in quality over the years, and we will talk about that as we go. But the ability to just actually have, you know, to do raids without having to deal with all of the nonsense that came with doing raids. Oh my god, it was a sea change for me. I was so happy. And then in Pandaria, you can actually progress in LFR. That was great. And then you couldn't do that anymore in Legion, because Legion kind of sucked about that. Yum yum is the turn-in quest dialogue there. Yeah, I think they were thinking about the Nyalotha thing quite a ways ago. Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, Cthulhu was in vanilla.
We press on.
Well, did you get the flask?
There's work to be done.
So, how are you enjoying Scourge life? Believe me, it's not all it's cracked up to be.
Suffer well.
By now you've probably guessed the detail of my plan. We're using the Scourge's interest in you against them. You're going undercover. I know it's likely a death sentence, but if we knew that nothing, death is certainty. Travel northeast to the Reliquary of Pain and stand on the platform. Once inside, earn the trust of the Scourge Commander.
Tomorrow is another day.
Okay, well, let's see. I guarantee with total certainty that the two highest scoring expansions are going to be Dragonflight and War Within. And the reason why is they are the only expansions which will not be peppered by abandonment negatives. While we're here, we're going to finish this quest tree really quick. What I'm about to give you is called Seathorium. Get it? It's a highly volatile explosive with some unique properties. Due to its malleable nature, you'll be able to fill in the hinges and cracks of the cage for maximum damage. Okay. Well, not quite, Ross. It's entirely possible that Pandaria and a few other expansions might score higher on the story axis. But golden number? Those abandonment negatives are hard to overcome. Yeah, if the abandonment issue didn't exist, well, who knows. I'm going to laugh if the next patch actually fixes that to the point where the abandonment issue goes away. I sincerely doubt it, but we'll see. Ahem. Freedom! Do not be afraid, little one. Geimer is an honorable giant. Like you and your people, I too wish to see the Scourge driven away from this land, and the Lich King destroyed. I will help you as promised, to the best of my ability. My people have been decimated by the Lich King. The Scourge now use the corpses of storm giants to create mindless flesh giants, or worse, stitched together into aberrations like Bob over there. I will stop at nothing to see them all driven from this world. We will work together to destroy the Scourge and weaken Zoldrak. So, let's kill them. So, this is a vehicle quest. By memory, this quest sucks. Part of the reason why is what you're seeing right now. The camera doesn't work right. For lack of a better way to put it. Like, here's my camera. This is not first-person mode. There I am. It's just this is where the camera's at. The second reason is you have to kill lots and lots of mobs over a large area. However, you also have to do that while AoEing, and your AoE range is not that large. If this sounds familiar, yes, it's the Themidian quest from frickin' Sholazar all over again. Or more accurately, this is the first of those, because that quest came later. We're just gonna go a killing here. This does seem to be a little bit better, just like the previous one was. So that's nice. But, yeah, this is still kind of weird to control. So, do I think FF14 1.0 needs to be preserved? I mean, yes, in an ideal world, that would be the thing that I would choose. You know, if this was Star Trek, and we had access to the kind of tech and resources and, you know, non-grubby assholes ruining entire societies, then yeah, it would be nice if we actually preserved something like FF14 1.0. Go away! Oh god, I don't have enough resources. Can I grab, like, one? There we go. There we go. Oh, yep, that only killed like 20 of them. Go away. Go away. Go away. Yes, FF14 1.0. The worst game of all time. Oh, you can also get stuck in terrain that you can't even really see. I love that Navarus is like, freed him, did you? His death and destruction will be slightly delayed. And then we, like, kill him in one shot. Like, yeah, okay, buddy. Oh, there's the boss. Yeah, he's even bigger than we are, by the way. Don't worry, we'll kill him in, like, 2 or 3 shits here. Come on. Come on. Yeah, this quest is... It's very indicative of a lot of early vehicle quests. They're buggy. They're jank. And it's because they're a prototype. Oh, jeez. I'm pretty sure Algara's up here, and I'm correct. Where's this guy? There he is. That's my target. Looks like he's coming down, maybe. He's attacking us. That's a good sign. Hey, we got him. Woo! Now I know what you're thinking. How do we get off our mount with hundreds and hundreds of scourge swarming us? Just do it. Just hop off. See? They're all gone. We don't really see a lot of the Sand Lane now. Frankly, a lot of the Sand Lane's characterization is in the final raid, which isn't great. Unbelievable. This will be a story for the ages. One man rode upon the head of a king of the storm giants and decimated an entire army. And I was there to see it happen. Yep. Okay, so let's... Now that we're done with all that nonsense, and that's pretty much the entire first bridge. So let's talk about Zoldrak as a zone. First of all, this zone's going to get all kinds of visual positives. Look at this freaking place. I love this place. But what you may or may not have already processed is its staircase. This is the lowest floor down here where we currently are. Yeah, it's a ziggurat, exactly. All of these thorns, there's some hints that these are actually new. And as a result of something we'll talk about later. But the land is definitely cursed right now. Literally cursed, as well as figuratively cursed. So lowest layer, it's fine. Yeah, we've got aqueducts. Check it out. See? Honest to goodness aqueducts. Whee. So here's the second layer. Obviously, this is where they did a lot of their farming. Ignore the damage. It's cool. This place is kind of under siege. But also, you notice how much more of a city is. In fact, the thing that I love most about Zoldrak is the entire zone is a city. Which, if you remember, is very rare in an MMO. Any MMO. Where, like, you see a city that's the size of a city. So all of these buildings here are actually towns and huts and houses and worksmiths and factories and all kinds of fun stuff like that. Yeah, Zoldrak, someone put a lot of thought and effort into the layout. Someone sat down and designed Zoldrak as a city. There's also the arena. Gotta have the arena. Very important. Zoldrak used to be the capital of the Drakari. I guess it technically still is. The Drakari are one of the major tribes that branched after the Zandalari Empire broke up. So this is the second layer. As you can see, it's pretty much the commons area, right? Farms, working areas, smithies, stuff like that. We go up another staircase to the next area. Up here, it's seemingly less designed, but actually, this is where the priests are. So this is like where our major temples are, like this one up here. So this area is more sparse because this is where the upper elite function. There's another temple right over there. And one of the other temples is right in front of us. Over there. This is technically also a temple. It's more like an altar, but still. Yep. Plenty of room for them to just enjoy. Stuff like this, don't worry about this, don't worry about this. It's fine, it's fine. And then we go up one last level. This is the top tier. Up here is actually where the military tends to be, which I find funny that the military is above the priesthood, but here we are. Up here we actually have the fortifications, there's the barracks, and of course, Gundrak, which is the city, the central fortress up here. And if you look out over the edge, that's the ocean down there. I know it's kind of hard to tell. But as you can see, it really is this giant-ass ziggurat. And that's Zuldrak in a nutshell. Really, really, really well-designed zone. I know I keep saying this, but we have once again surpassed the previous zones in terms of quality when it comes to visual design. Because Grizzly Hills was, you know, like it was like Netherstorm, and then it was Grizzly Hills, and now it's Zuldrak. And yet, it is funny to me. The Drakari were able to resist the Scourge for several years. But it's also worth noting the Scourge weren't really trying. And I don't mean that to diminish the Drakari's accomplishments, quite the contrary. It is still very impressive what the Drakari managed. But that's the point. Like, it's impressive on both sides, if that makes sense. And yeah, if the Drakari were still at their height, the Scourge would have to actually try. As is, this is mostly just whatever. I mean, you'll notice that all they sent were 2 Necropoli, right? One run by Navarius, who we just killed, and the other run by... We'll see him in a minute. It has been argued... Oh, I guess there is the third. It has been argued that... The Drakari kind of doomed themselves here. And I agree with that completely. We'll talk a little bit more about the specifics of why, but yeah, no, they shot themselves in the foot. Because they managed this little feat over here. And they thought this was a big, impressive feat. And it was. Again, I don't want to diminish their accomplishments. But at the same time, this was not the big win that they thought it was, as this entire field kind of shows. So yeah, really good vibes of the ancient empire that was, and the ruins. There's a lot of fallen empires in Warcraft, right? And this is yet another one of them. We had the Drakari, the Gurabashi, the Firaki, and I think those are the 3 really big empires. I feel like I'm missing a 4th one. Don't worry about all this purple stuff. It's fine. It's fine. Don't think too much about what's going on there. Anyways, those are the major troll empires that came out of the really big, the troll empire. Oh yeah, the Amani. I knew there was another one. So it was the Amani, the Gurabashi, the Drakari, and the Firaki. Each one of those is an offshoot of the original Zandalari. Now, the Zandalari are still there, but the Zandalari functionally aren't an empire anymore. They're more like a city-state. It's actually a common story arc, which we'll talk about throughout the course of the game, because it keeps cropping up. But anyways, so this is what's left of the Drakari. These are the Frost Trolls. So lots and lots and lots of visual positives. I'll figure out specifics later. For now, we have an invitation to go say hello, to go accept. Let's just go with that. To go accept. Whoops! I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do this. Sorry. I would say BFA reinforces that. It's pretty clear that for all of their... Wow, the rocks are moving as if they're grass. For all of their pomp and circumstance, the Zandalari are very much on their way out by the time we get there. It's one of the better story arcs of BFA because it helps to emphasize just how awful things are going for the Horde and the war as a whole, that we need their help, despite the fact that they're that, you know. They have one province under their control of their island. One. They exile loyalists and people for no good reason to the deserts regularly, and they have completely lost control of the swamps. So, it's our old friend Drakuru.
How you doing?
Ah, Zadesh, you must have received my gift. Turn around, man. Let me get a good look at ya. Ah, you make me proud. We come such a long way, you and I. And now we be serving the Lich King together. Stick with me, big things be coming, big things. But first, need to be getting you caught up. So much been happening since I saw you last. I'll go speak to Gorbag for a tour. Listen for me, I'll tell you all you need be knowing.
You be careful, man.
Where's Gorbag? Oh god. I'm telling you, Drakuru is just weirdly legit. That pretty much is the plot twist, is that he never stops being cool. Also, this is the second time we played as the Scourge in this expansion.
Yes.
Can you send me on a tour? Ah! Not what I meant. Cool. Traxia. Cool, not cruel. I think Drakuru is very pragmatist. And I think he's legitimately a more positively inclined individual. So to him, yeah, sure, we're working for the Scourge to conquer our enemies, but like, and? There's no reason we have to be, like, mean about it. There's no reason we have to be against each other. You helped me out a bunch. Of course I'm going to help you out, but in return. Why would I betray one of my only friends and allies? That's stupid. Like, I legitimately have trouble calling Drakuru evil, even though he is someone who betrayed his own people to the Scourge. Because it's just, yeah. Anyways, I forgot he gave us a tour of the zone, so here's a tour of the zone. What's funny, too, is in Drakuru we see a little bit of the mentality of why people willingly join the Burning Legion. The Burning Legion is going to show up, and it's going to absolutely wash over your planet like a tide of destruction, and will inevitably burn and destroy everything on it. Why wouldn't you join them? What possible reason would you have? Well, ignore that. Ignore that. Ignore what's on the screen right now. What possible reason would you have for trying not to join that? I mean, there's no choice there, right? Join and serve until you're the last one on the chopping block, or die now and be used as fuel. There's a wonderful logic to it. Yeah, Drakuru got to keep his personality and free will because he joined willingly. We've actually talked about this before. A common rule in Warcraft is the more willing you are to accept power from an external source, the more power you can be granted. Part of the logic behind that is it's the idea that some of the power, like, okay, let's say that I'm like, Esmiristar, join me. And Esmiristar's like, I'd rather die. And I'm like, as you wish, stab. And then I force Esmiristar to join me. The idea is that if I was to do, like, to put this into math terms, if I have 100 power, and I imbue this into Esmiristar, because part of that power is being used to force obedience, Esmiristar doesn't get the full 100 power. Make sense? So in other words, yeah, exactly. Some of the energy is being burnt on enforcing your will or reducing their will. But if you join willingly... So if Ismirstar joins willingly... Yeah, it's like a control... It's the freaking maintenance thing from Warcraft 3 all over again. The upkeep. But if you join willingly, then here you go. And you'll notice Drakuru is he's actually pretty strong, all things considered. So he gets all of his free will and he gets tons of power because he joined willingly. Why wouldn't you take that bargain, right?
You come get the voodoo.
So now you'll be seeing what be up against Mon. Go down, take some time to learn the land. Prepare some strategy. I'll be having some tasks for you soon.
Spirits be with
Good thing, boss man. Kel'Thuzad is another good example. Probably the single most powerful Lich ever in the whole setting. And a whole lot of that is specifically because he signed up very willingly. Where's the horn? Where's the horn? There it is. Well, interestingly enough, nothing, Spartan. And there's a couple of cases here and there
Speak your peace.
where someone will be like, oh, I'll totally join. Now I'll use the power against you. But the problem is, what usually happens is immediately the power is then subverted to control them again. And so it just doesn't go anywhere. I must admit, I'm more than a little surprised to see you. Tell me what you've learned. Well...
We will have our revenge.
Everything you've purported is what's consistent with what we know. Learning of Drakuru and earning his trust will lay the groundwork for future missions. Return to him. Do as he says. Do whatever you must to appear sincere. A great deal is riding on your performance. Oh, I'm adding an additional assignment. Pour this additive into their blight cauldrons, which should neutralize their scourging agent and render the batch useless.
Leave me be.
Yeah, that's actually a valid point. Arthas did willingly pick up Frostmourne the first time. Pull this down here, too. Actually, yes, Blade Javal. 100%. Whoop, 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 whoop. To use a specific example, we'll see a little bit of that in Legion. There are a couple of fairly high-powered, high-level demons who are on our side, who have just been kind of laying low and working as an infiltrator or as a spy for, decades. So it is something that does happen. It's a little harder with the Scourge because, mind reading. But the Lich King doesn't automatically read everyone's minds. He has to specifically be like, he has to open the folder and be like, hang on, what's going on in here? Oh my god, all the porn! And, then he'll find out.
Relax.
If you're ever going to be worthy of the Lich King's gifts, you gotta be a great leader. One who'll be commanded respect. I got a task there to refine your command skills, Mon. Some of me minions be trained to harvest blight crystals from the land below, but they be lazy and slow. You're gonna be in charge of them, Mon. Here, take this scepter. Teach them how to get the job done. When they be under your control, make them harvest the crystals. So one of the things I like about this whole quest chain is, on paper, this quest chain should suck. Because you're forced into ghoul form and you cannot use any of your abilities in ghoul form. You're not even a vehicle. So every step of the quest chain specifically gives you this scepter of such and such. And as a result of that, most of the actual gameplay of these quests has to do more with navigating around the limitations of being in that form and using them as part of the quest design, rather than being like, all right, now go fight 500 whatcha-figs. Now we're going to turn back to this form real quick here. Yeah. So when exactly does Arthas' soul return to him? That's actually a good question. It's either the moment that Frostmourne is shattered during the fight with him, or immediately after that. In either case, it definitely happens before he dies, because we know what happens to Arthas' soul. We watch it happen. Come on, use the damn thing. Please, pick up the blight. There we go. That's my thought too, Magister. The moment the sword is shattered, that's one of the reasons why I also point out that, you know, the moment he lost his soul was the moment he picked up the sword. And that also lines up with several other things too. Even his final lines are probably said as himself, and not as the Lich King. Fun fact, this quest actually shares, so this is actually one of the very, very few quests in Wrath that's better to do with a group. Go figure. No, I'm not going to group up for it, I'm just saying. I'm mentioning it because it is definitely the exception. You know, I actually hate that cinematic. And some people think I hate that cinematic because, you know, oh my god, I'm such a fanboy. Those people are stupid. No, the problem with that cinematic is that it's very, very, very Hollywood. In a way that's just kind of eyebrow-raising. You know, honestly, I could point to a lot of problems with modern WoW cutscene design and say, Hollywood, and just use that one word to describe what's wrong with them. They have started to get away from that with more modern stuff, thank God. But there was a while there during Legion, BFA, and Shadowlands where they were just obsessed with Hollywooding it up, and ugh. StarCraft 2 was not immune to this, if you remember. Hollywood can be fun if it's done well. But if you hear me use the word Hollywood, then I am already by default stating that it is not done well. Hell, there's a cutscene in Warlords, which is one of my favorite cutscenes of the game, which is rather Hollywood. But it's a good frickin' cutscene. And again, StarCraft 2, to go back to that one, has several cutscenes that are rather Hollywood. Like, you remember the one, when they're landing on Char in Wings of Liberty. That's a pretty Hollywood cutscene, but man, if it isn't just awesome. He goes up, saves the general, you know? Yeah, and then we have We're Done. So sorry, Gloden asks which cutscene. I'm going to assume you mean which cutscene was actually good, and that would be the end of the Frostfire Ridge chain in Warlords for the Orcs. That cutscene is freaking awesome. Exactly, Dakota. Remember, I'm legally not allowed to talk about the expansion that shall not be named. Uh-oh. Finish. There we go. Just gonna wait a second. There we go. We're good. The expansion that shall not be named is the one I know the least, by quite a margin, actually. It is the only expansion in the entire game that there's major content I haven't done at all in. By contrast, I've literally almost finished the meta for Dragonflight. Where are we at with that? Let's see. There it is. There's where I'm at with that. Abyss is only not filled out because that's going to be a quick and easy thing. That's not really a problem. So these three are the only achievements, meta achievements, I'm missing. And this one, I'm literally waiting on for the stream, so that's actually done too. So that means I'm actually only missing two, which is this one, which I'm actually done with both one of those, and I need help for the other one. And this one. This is the only stuff I'm actually missing. Centaur of Attention, Flight Club, and Army of the Fed. Once I'm done with those three achievements, I have done Dragonflight. I don't know, Dakota, to be honest with you. Okay. This is my life now. It looks like we only aggroed the one thing. I can make that work. See you around, Dennis Cow. I say that and immediately another thing walks over. It's like, hey! How dare you aggro only one thing at a time? Now there's an A-bomb roaming over. Come on. Nope, no one here but us innocent ghouls. Don't mind me. Everything's fine. I'm just gonna do this really quick. Oh, what? Really? You know what? I don't feel like dealing with you. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. Ugh, Daze. Why does Daze... I'm gonna die. Okay, no screwing around. Oh no, they're totally detectives, and I even knew that. It's just... Him. As I was saying. What? Go away. Chicken! Chicken good! Chicken use ogre model. Chicken leave. Okay. So, back with our regularly scheduled program. No more detectors around. What? Did they literally just spawn there? You asshole. You saw that, right? They spawned right in my face. Jackass. You know what? I don't have to be stealth for this, so screw you. Just gonna hang out here. Oh, I see what's happening. When you do it, it spawns them. Okay, that makes more sense. It's okay. I'm a druid. That's why you get the carrot. Or the turnip, excuse me, Spartan. I'm not actually joking. That's exactly why they let you do that here. While we wait for the cooldown. Where is it? Where is it? Ah! Look, I have a lot of pets, okay? Don't look at me like that. Where's this guy? There he is. The terrible turnip. So this guy, he has an ability called Weakening Blow. Cannot reduce the opponent's health below 1. This guy. There's probably other guys other than the terrible turnip now. He's actually pretty useful in general. But he's who I used to capture new pets. Back when I was still doing that. Alright, time to bail. Yeah, false swipe, exactly. As I said before, WoW's pet battle thing is better designed than Pokemon in some ways. And worse in others, of course.
Greetings, man.
You got me underlings whipped into shape, Zadesh. The crystals be piling up like never before. You be doing good work, Zadesh. I got more tasks for you real soon.
Spirits be
Yeah, Pet Battles is kind of its own fully functional game. It's weird. I'm here. Come on, there, see? Ignore that Storm Peaks music that started for just a second.
We press on.
Nice work. Diluting those cauldrons will not only save lives, It'll slow the growth of the scourge in this region. Now come, tell me what you've learned of his strategy.
We are
Light
done
crystals.
here.
What could this scumbag Drakuru be up to? Hey! Clearly he's working on something significant. Continue to do his bidding, and perhaps once he's more familiar with you, he'll reveal more of his plans. In the meantime, we need to have a look at these crystals. While you're in Volterra, try to get some samples of the harvested crystals when no one's looking. But be alert, handling those crystals will cause your disguise to fail.
Ashes to ashes.
Good to know. Scooch over here. Yeah, I tend to forget Mahjong's even in FF14, to be honest with you. Not as a dig, I just tend to forget it's there. It is. There's a lot of mini-games in FF14. Weirdly complex mini-games. Oh, this is up, isn't it? I think so. No? Oh, whatever. Yeah, I've been exalted with everything for forever, Spartan, yeah.
What you want?
Ignorance. This be intolerable, man. Me entire batch of blight be useless. That mongrel Darmok, he be responsible for watching over the blight, and he fail me, man. Ah, this be a good lesson to ya. Failure be like a disease that spreads. You gotta catch it and kill it early before it kill you. Here, take this scepter. You take my scourge strolls stronger. Use them to kill Darmok.
You be careful.
Okay. Again. Rule number 1 of Mahjong. There are no rules. Rule number 2. No outside food. Sorry. Glad you're liking them, Mr. Floyd. I've been worrying a lot lately that these streams suck. So it's good to know that someone somewhere is liking them. But not Blade Duval, because this game sucks. 0 out of 10. Here, come here. I need to use you. Darmok must die. Go forth, my minion. I mean, I always like to start with the bad, and that has its detriment. So we'll use that, then we'll use that. Focus your hate. Focus your rage. Kill him, my minion. Kill him, my minion. I need Ninja to make sure that no one ever be failing Drakuru ever again. Good job, minion. Now I need to find these stupid crystals. Do I just need to loot them? I swear they're up top. Because I can picture like a pile of them I need to go loot. It is funny, Blade 12. I was talking with a friend of mine just last night. No, they're there. And the discussion boiled down to, it really is funny how new player-friendly this game is, if you don't want to experience all the content. Which I know is just kind of a weird caveat, but it's true. Like, you'll notice the two expansions I'm not too worried about are Dragonflight and War Within. And for those of you not aware, when you first make a brand new character, the first thing it'll do is say, hey, here's your tutorial zone. And once you finish the tutorial zone, it says, hey, here's Dragonflight. Not that Dragonflight is like a bastion of perfect joy and awesomeness, but it is funny how it's pretty much designed to be a new player experience. I am curious, more than anything else, how Legion... Whoops. Legion and Pandaria work with you. Because, you know, just a bit ago I would say, you know, guaranteed knock it out of the parks, but now I'm not so sure.
How you doing?
As Darmok paid for his failure.
Stay away.
You done good. You'll be learning faster than I hoped. Go now, get some rest. Soon I'll be giving you an even greater test.
Be seeing ya.
Yep, see you around, Drakuru, my one true friend. I mean, honestly, Cataclysm's gonna get hit the worst by that. Think for a second about how many dungeons are in Cata. Really process that. Whoops. Oh, no, that actually worked out for me.
What?
Welcome back. Did you steal any samples?
There's work to be done.
Fascinating. We'll look into the properties of these crystals right away. Now tell me, what is the latest with this Drakuru fellow?
Leave me be.
While we're working to discover the purpose of these crystals, we need you back in Volterras doing Drakuru's bidding. Every task you perform successfully gets you closer to him, and brings us that much nearer to knowing his mind. But while you're there, I have another mission. His scourge wagons pose a significant threat. We need them destroyed. Make your way to the wagons and activate these charges. Once they're set, get clear. The explosion will expose you if you're too close.
We are done here.
Honestly, real talk, I don't think I'd be lost at all if I started FF14 at Dawn Trail. I can only speak personally, so that's, you know, asterisks. But while Dawn Trail obviously acknowledges and recognizes previous events, the amount of how necessary they are for what's happening is practically non-existent. It'd be time to march to Gundrakmon. Be time for me to turn you loose on them trolls. They breached our walls and put a whole army just north of us. They be fuel for the Firemon. We're gonna take the chieftains and kill the rest. All part of me master plan. Take this scepter, command me abominations. Bring them to Drakari and kill them all. When the chieftains come, my pet Sheilwing gonna snatch them up and bring them here to me.
Spirits be with you, man.
I mean, I'd rather not, Mr. Red, especially since that's just going to make the whole experience worse, at least until Warlords. Also, there's several specific cases where doing that might actually cause issues, because you might trigger something ahead of me, and I'm sitting there talking, and blah, blah, blah. Alright, so let's go commit some atrocities. That sounds like a joke. It really isn't. Now, I've been doing some tech tests for grouping over the last year. So these are bloateds. If this quest here sounds familiar, it's because we've technically already done this quest. So over there, and over here, and over here, and burst. 2 quests, just 2 zones apart, where we use A-bombs as bombs. What do you want about that's at least partially inspired by the pun that I just unintentionally did? I mean, there's a reason cutscene skipper is considered an insult in FF14, and frankly, also in WoW. The difference, and I will give FF14 this, is that people tend to wait if someone's in a cutscene in FF14, whereas in WoW they tend to not. Although I do actually think that there's something WoW should do to help with that. In FF14, there's a symbol that shows up in the party menu that says, hey, they're in the middle of a cutscene. It's a nice, quick indicator that, hey, whoops, I did not mean to hit that button. It's a nice, quick indicator that someone is watching a cutscene. It'd be nice if WoW had something like that. That's also true. FF14 has almost no cutscenes in dungeon and in raid. Probably for specifically that reason. As nice as people are, nobody wants to be sitting there for 5 minutes waiting for a cutscene to finish, right? I mean, I think it was worst back in, like, the, oh god, what's her stupid name? Garuda arc. Along with, and Ifrit. You know? I will never accept your nihilistic view of WoW players. I'm sorry. that's all I'll say on that. I'm not going to argue it. It's just, you'll never convince me that it's just this hive of YouTube comments and Twitter people. I really wish they wouldn't keep, like... Yeah, let's do that for a second. Try to get a couple more. That's probably all I'm getting. Boop. I had a theory for a while. There's a quest here, that's the one we're doing right now, and there's a quest in Cataclysm, the next expansion, both of which are basically mini RTS quests. They're not great, I'm not trying to oversell them, but it feels like they were experimenting with the idea of bringing RTS mechanics into WoW. They have obviously since abandoned that. They've never gone back to it. But it's just interesting to think about. I sometimes wonder if there was some push for that in the office. There's that. Oh no, keep going, keep going. I can get one more bundle. A little bit more, a little bit more. Come on, come on. Go, 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 go. Before you explode, there we go. We have this guy, and he's like, now you're gonna die, Mon. What? And then off he goes. Bye, Mon. I mean, Lord knows I've seen some bad eggs in both FF14 and WoW, and Guild Wars 2. I mean, I've been playing MMOs for 30-some-odd years at this point. Of course I've seen bad eggs. But the overwhelming majority of my experiences have been positive in every MMO. Now, that's anecdotal. So, you know, how valid that is debatable. But it is still true. I get weird luck. Now, recently we had a group that was doing the BRD raid, and they were bad. But they were cool about it, if that makes any sense. Like, we kept wiping over and over and over on the first boss in the final wing of that raid, which is the one where you're fighting the... oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. Okay. Run, 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 run. I got greedy. I got greedy. That's on me. They were really bad, right? Like, they were just failing constantly in the mechanics, and we kept wiping, and we kept getting stacks of determination, and blah, 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 blah. But no one was ever a dick about it. It was just, all right, here's how we do this. Do this. Hey, such and such, can you try and do this in the next fight attempt? Yeah, sure, no problem. It was weird. It was wild. It was fun. That's true, Cloden. See, yeah, I don't think I have ever encountered anyone that toxic in WoW. Like, that's next level. Either way, I think we all agree. Hashtag other players. One of the reasons that I tend to be so in favor of WoW over most other MMOs is because of its focus on being able to effectively remove other players from the consideration. And if they keep pushing the follower dungeon idea, then yeah, that's just going to keep being a thing. I'm going to get greedy. I'm going to be greedy. I'm going to be greedy. Okay, never mind. Not going to be greedy. Yeah, I'm searching my memory for, like, my absolute worst MMO experience, and I keep coming up with stuff that isn't MMOs. Like, I remember an experience in League of Legends, which I'm not even going to describe to you, because the fact that I called it an experience in League of Legends probably says everything it needs to. I come to avenge me brother's mon. And off he goes. Oh god. I'm actually lucky. I never personally got involved with the true Drak of EVE Online. I know it exists. A friend of mine, well, a friend of a friend's actually played EVE Online and practiced regular trollery. Just that's what he would do for fun in that game. Whoop, 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 whoop. See, that's just stupid, Bregman, because Pandaria was the time when personal loot became a thing. So there is no sharing the loot. So they kicked you for no reason at all. Oh, shoot. He died. He died. Okay. I am dead. Yeah, I'm just... Wow, I think I hit the button like 5 milliseconds too slow there. Like, just way too slow. I just remembered it. I just remembered the worst experience I've ever had. And I have had one truly terrible player I've interacted with in my career in MMOs. In all MMOs ever. Nope, I take that back. 2. I have thought of 2. It was Bob! I'll tell you the Asheron's Call one first. I've actually told this story before. In fact, I think I've told both these stories before. So in Asheron's Call, there was a server called Dark Tide. It was a pure all PvP all the time. It was an open world PvP server, so everyone was always PvP flagged, okay? I mentioned this because Asheron's Call was actually unique by virtue of the fact that you actually had opt-in to PvP, whereas that wasn't true in all MMOs back in the Bronze era. Anyways, so you had to opt in, or you had to be on Dark Tide. I was on Dark Tide for some unrelated reason. I was just checking something out. And this guy runs up to kill me. I'm like, okay. Well, I go enter an instance. So I zone into the portal, and I'm like, okay. Then, not too long later, I see the guy zoning in behind me, because you can actually see the player starting to load in. And I'm like, okay. So I go out of the instance, and then in the instance, and then out of the instance, and then in the instance. For quite some time, all things considered. This was not a small amount of time of going back in and out. And he starts whispering me, like, hey, what are you doing, man? Why are you running? Where are you going? I just want to talk. I'm not trying to kill you. What are you doing? Why are you going? And the whole time he just kept being like, hey, you know, it's cool. I'm cool. You know, I'm not trying to kill you. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about this. Why are you running? Finally, I got sick of it because I had other things to do with my life. So I finally was like, okay, fine. You can kill me. Because I knew that's what was going to happen. And sure enough, as soon as I stopped dead, he killed me. And was like, ha ha ha, I have killed you. What a noob. He, of course, didn't get anything off of me, because I was like a level 5 nobody. So, no loot, no experience, no nothing. But that's the thing. The thing on Dark Tide that made it so terrible, and the reason why I avoided it like the plague, is because it was open world PvP, which means what a lot of the PvPers would do is they would just sit and camp the very beginning of the game, the tutorial zone, and they just sit there waiting for newbies to show up so they could kill them. We talk a lot about gatekeeping and how that can be good, bad, or in between. But I've noticed this trend in a lot of competitive games. League of Legends itself actually comes to mind here, where a certain sect of people goes out of their way to ensure that nobody new gets to start playing their game. And in case you don't understand the point of that, other than just people being dicks, because obviously that's part of the point here, the point is that, and they've said this openly, this isn't just from presumption, they want to ensure that only people who already have a group are allowed on the PvP environment. Because you have to already have someone to show up and be like, hey, and get a friend to kill them so that you can then go and start leveling your character. If you're a truly brand new character and you have no existing group or guild or whatever, go away. We don't want you here. Anyways, this quest is a negative. What's funny is I can tell you exactly why this quest is a negative. It's because it requires too many kills. This is actually a really cool idea, this quest, but it just takes way too long because you need to kill 60 things, and this A-bomb dies very quickly. Oh, there, we're done. Jot down some thoughts while I'm here. Oh, yeah, sorry. Die, nasty scourge. Yeah. Oh, yeah, now I gotta blow up some wagons, don't I? I'll do that in a second. Yeah, like, on paper, I'm actually down with competitiveness. I have to be. I was part of the speedrunning community for too long not to. But healthy competitiveness, you know what I mean? And hell, even the speedrunning community has the bad eggs. We should know, Carl Jobst has built his entire career around exposing those bad eggs. I mean, I always prefer co-op. Whoa. This guy's failing. I'm out. I'm out. Peace! Travel form! I mean, I prefer co-op. I'll always prefer co-op. I can enjoy competitive gameplay. I can. But if you give me a choice, I'll take co-op 10 times out of 10. And I know what you're thinking. Didn't you max out Plunderstorm? Yeah. As a co-op game. And I know that sounds strange, but some of you probably know what I'm talking about. Like, especially about halfway through, Plunderstorm became a weirdly cooperative game. I can't tell you how many times we'd be like, rah, brah. And someone would approach, and they'd start killing me, and I'd just go dead stick. And they'd be like, oh, you're not a real competitor. And they would leave me alone. Or, like, you're roaming around looking for kills to get, to get your plunder. And someone would see you coming, pause, and then go the other way, because they see that you've already got this area. Like, it was the weirdest experience. Every now and again, I would have a jackass. But, like, maybe 5 times total across the whole grind.
What you want?
Anyways, did you smash the trolls? We done it, man. I got the chieftains all caged up, and you led me abominations to victory over their armies. It'd be time to celebrate, man. You doing well. You be proving that I got an eye for talent. You can see now why the Lich King gave me this blessing. The time has come for me to reveal my master plan to you, man. Now you'll be seeing how we're gonna sweep through the swarms of Drakuru to take our rightful place in the palace of Gundrak. Yeah. Take this scepter, man. You'll be a token of me trust in ya. With it, you'll be able to access me upper chamber and witness for yourself our secret weapons.
Spirits be with you, man.
There's a coffin up here. Weird. Ah, there you are. The master told us you'd be arriving soon. Please follow me. There's much for you to see. We'll probably finish not immediately after lunch. We've got the rest of the zone to go through. Ever since his arrival from Draktheron, the master has spoken of his time when you would be joining him here. Yeah, that's right. We made that much of an impression on Drakuru. The things I show you now must never be spoken of outside Voltaris. The world shall come to know our secrets soon enough. He would literally be dead if not for us. How's that for wild? Here lies our stores of blight crystal, without which this project would be impossible. I understand you are to thank for the bulk of our supply. Yeah, I was just thinking that, Claude. He's still the old model. These trolls are among those you exposed on the battlefield. Masterfully done, indeed. We feel it best to position them here where they might come to terms with their impending fate. That's kind of evil. Yeah, we'll leave it. And this is their destiny. The blight slowly seeps into their bodies, gradually preparing for them for their conversion. That's actually horrific. This special preparation grants them unique powers far greater than what they would otherwise know. Soon the Master will grant them the Dark Gift, making them fit to serve the Lich King for eternity. Yeah, by the way, so he dyers them, and then infuses them with blight. They're not dead yet, so they're not scourged yet. Stay for as long as you like. Glory in the fruits of your labor. Your service has been invaluable in fulfilling the Master's plan. May you forever grow in power. My lust for power! Well, damn Pandaria.
Greetings, man.
So there you have it, Mon. We've been making the ultimate Scourge army to serve the Lich King. You're gonna be most pleased. You keep the scepter. You're gonna need it to command me army in battle soon.
Stay away from the voodoo.
No, it would probably kill me, Spartan. I am very allergic. Yeah, I know, right? I need to prove myself to the Lich King. And I do it. I've got it. Undead Dire Trolls. If you remember, the first boss of Draktheron was an undead Dire Troll. Excellent. Your undercover work has paid off. Let's look at that scepter.
Suffer well.
The time has come to end this charade. As valuable as your information has been, we must bring Drakuru down and bring his project to an end before his freaks are unleashed. We've modified your scepter for the job. When the time is right, you'll be able to use it on his Blightbloods and turn them against him.
Tomorrow.
I love how the name of this quest is Betrayal, because we are betraying him. I continue to be endlessly amused by this entire quest chain. Aw. I don't remember how you're supposed to get up. I thought the portal was it. Maybe if I just talked to Drakuru. I can fly, but you're not supposed to be able to fly right now.
Relax.
Here we go. I am ready to accompany you.
Behold, man, we be created the greatest Scourge army ever seen. These be the first of many. We shall sweep across Zuldrak like the wind.
So yeah, your disguise fails. There's no cover.
Is this? You be paying for this deceit with your life, man.
And yeah, he's a little upset that we betrayed him. I don't really blame him, as weird as that sounds.
I should have known not to be trusting nobody.
So now we take one of his Blight Trolls. And interestingly enough, the tutorial stuff we've been getting this whole time now kind of comes full circle.
Fool! You could have been having great power, man.
Whoop, 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 whoop. Let's get out of that nonsense. Oh, okay.
I should have known not to be trusting nobody.
No, this is a good question. I like this question. This is why I say Zuldrak starts off, good. It's because it starts off with this.
How could this be? Felix King said you were having great plans.
It also notice there's a bit of a soft enrage in how much of the area is being covered in this blight.
Enough! This foolish treachery has cost you your destiny. Master, this mortal scum be double-crossed.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
They must be made to suffer.
You have failed me, Drakuru.
Well, now we'll watch it as a corpse, I suppose.
It is you who should suffer. Be content that your death is a quick one. As for you, I spare your insignificant life as a reward for this amusing betrayal. There may yet be a shred of potential in you. Be warned. When next we meet, I shall require much more to justify your life.
Now, several people have made fun of that. But actually, that completely lines up with what the Lich King has been doing this whole time. So first of all, let's go grab the skull before it despawns. Drakuru's last wish. Anywhere but here. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's the filtering. We were strong, and we were cunning, so we get to progress. But you notice he even said it right there. The next time we meet, you're going to have to do better for me to continue to justify your existence. Because each filter gets harder, and harder, and harder. And that makes sense. And interestingly enough, we will have to do more the next time we meet him, for him to spare us. Thus ends the life of Drakuru. He failed. He didn't pass the filter, for lack of a better way to put that. I would like to think so, J. Palmer, but who knows?
You need something?
Have you faced Drakuru in battle?
We will have our...
So it is done. We still have much work to do, but our work here will be much more manageable thanks to your efforts. Please accept the choker of betrayal. Do I have to?
Ashes to ashes.
Thanks. I feel so accomplished. What, Drakuru? I honestly don't think he had the ability to see through illusions. He's an empowered ice troll. Like there's not a lot in there that screams I can see through stuff. Oh, the Lich King? I don't understand the question. Like the Lich King knew we weren't undead. He even commented on it. He was doomed from the start. All of the Drakari were. The Drakari are on the verge of being a species facing extinction after the events of Wrath. This is actually referenced in Pandaria. Oh yeah, by the way, Eitrig is here. Several interesting people are here. Eitrig, Corfax, Rain, and Earthshatter are all here from Vanilla and BC. Anyways, let me jot down some thoughts here. I'm not sure of J. Palmer. Because, yeah, then Pandaria happens, and they lose even more. It's funny, in a horrible way. The Drakari were desperate to survive the Scourge, so they decided to make a terrible bargain, which ended up costing them, and they nearly went extinct. So then later, they got desperate and accepted a terrible bargain from the Zandalari, which nearly made them extinct. like more extinct. I'm not sure what the lesson here is, really. I feel like it's like right on the tip of my tongue. Hang on one second. I mean, you could just get a warrior light in here. Could you kill all these gods for me? Thanks. Appreciate you. I think we will go ahead and lunch break here. I hope you enjoyed that because it's the good part of Zoldrak. And if you'll notice, we're only on the 2nd level. So I'm just gonna preface this. The rest of Zoldrak's gonna be a little bit of a slog. So I hope you look forward to that.